rubber match at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays host the Tampa Bay Rays today in the last of this three-game series. A series that's been very hard fought in two different ways. It was a high-scoring win for the Rays in Game 1, a low-scoring win for the Blue Jays in Game 2. And after 18 innings, these two teams tied on aggregate score right now at 12-12. We'll see who can take the series as first pitch goes in just a couple of minutes. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali is our host and producer. Tom Young and Austin Mackey are our technical directors. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Guelph and Elmira. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. On the mound today for the Blue Jays, Kevin Gausman gets the start, coming off a win at Seattle. The Blue Jays sweep over the Mariners. He'll go up against the right-hander Zach Littell, who shut down the Blue Jays in the Trop last year in the opening series of the 2024 season. We'll see who has the edge. Coming up soon, we got lineup standings, first pitch on the other side. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, streaming at sportsnet.ca, on the Sportsnet app, and on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Tonight on Sportsnet.
Now the lead pass for Hall. Moving in on Thompson. He's
It's do or die for the Caps. Will the Canes seal the deal in Washington? Then, Hockey Central gets you set.
And the Stars will put the President's Trophy winners on liberty.
All hands on deck in Winnipeg for a must-win Game 5.
Stars! Nikolai Ehlers!
The Stanley Cup Playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
And it's gone!
Jays fans, this is John Schneider, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
There's the exclamation point for all assembled here at Rogers Center.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The 0-2. Swing and a fly ball. Right center field. Meisner back at the track. Turns around. See you later! Big fly. Alejandro Kirk. And the Blue Jays jump in front 3-1. Just a fastball left over the middle of the plate. Right down Broadway. Pepio got away with one of those in the earlier portion of the at-bat. Kirk fouled it back, but he wasn't going to miss it a second time. His third home run of the year.
When was the last time you saw Alejandro Kirk pimp a home run like that?
Maybe never. Alejandro Kirk with the big swing for the Blue Jays yesterday in their 3-1 victory over the Tampa Bay Rays. He's back behind the plate. Day game after night game, it doesn't matter for the Toronto backstop, who will work with Kevin Gausman as the Blue Jays look to take Game 3 and take the series at Rogers Center. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Whether it's Alejandro Kirk, Chris, Ernie Clement, Addison Barger or a couple others, the Blue Jays bats and power bats have really heated up recently.
Well, we've been talking about the bottom half of this lineup, but Bo Bichette is starting to heat up. Dalton Varsho, obviously, with a couple of home runs the other day. But how about Alejandro Kirk? 293 coming into this ball game. If you told me halfway through April that halfway through May, Alejandro Kirk would be almost hitting 300, I would have told you were nuts. He is really, really hot right now, seeing the ball well, throwing the ball well, and, of course, framing the ball really well.
John Schneider called it a clinic yesterday from Kirk, who blocked, framed, threw, and hit well in the Blue Jays win. He'll be in the lineup today. We'll get to that lineup in a sec. But first, let's take a look at the Bet365 standings. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game's still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. A couple AL East teams off today. The Yankees are off. They're leading the division at 25-18. The Blue Jays are second, 21-21, 3.5 back. The Red Sox are off today. They're 22-23, 4 games back. The Rays are 19-23. They are 5.5 back. And the Orioles are in progress right now. It looks like Baltimore is going to lose again. They're trailing 4-0 right now in the 9th inning, but it's baseball. Anything could happen. So for now, we'll say they're 15-26, 5th in the East. Blue Jays charging out onto the field as their starting lineup gets shown to the fans in Toronto. Let's go over to the other starting lineup first. Chris, who's in the lineup for Kevin Cash and the Rays?
Well, leading off for those Rays is Josh Lowe. He's DHing. Batting second is Brandon Lau. He's at second base. At third base, batting third is Junior Caminero. In the cleanup spot is Jonathan Aranda. He's at first base this afternoon. In center field, hitting fifth is Cameron Meisner. Hitting sixth is Jose Caballero. He's in right field. At shortstop, batting seventh is Taylor Walls. Batting eighth is the speedster Chandler Simpson. He's in left field this afternoon. And behind the dish, batting ninth is former Jay Danny Jansen. On the mound is Zach Littell. For the Toronto Blue Jays, leading off is Bo Bichette. He's at shortstop. Batting second is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He's at first base. In right field, batting third is Anthony Santander. In the cleanup spot is George Springer. He's DHing. Batting fifth is Alejandro Kirk. He's behind the dish. Batting sixth is Addison Barger. He's at third base. At second base, hitting seventh is Ernie Clement. In center field, hitting eighth is Miles Straw. And in left field, batting ninth, is Nathan Lucas. On the mound is righty Kevin Gausman.
For Kevin Gausman, his 9th start of the season. 3-3 with a 3.97 ERA. 34-year-old from Colorado is 6'2", 205 pounds, and he's coming off a solid start. Not his best of the year. 5 1/3, 7 hits, 3 earned runs. He didn't walk any. He struck out 3 on the 9th at Seattle. And he allowed the Blue Jays bats to take over and win a game against the Mariners.
Right, and I think that's the biggest thing when looking at the full body of his outings this season. He's given for the majority of his starts, he's given the Blue Jays a chance to win. You said it best. I think if you can go out and have a quality start for the majority of your outings, you've done a good job. And Kevin Gausman has done just that this season.
Gausman in all white jersey and pants, royal blue cap, steps to the top of the hill. Leadoff hitter Josh Lowe steps into the lefty box. Rays in their dark blues today, gray pants. Sun shining down on the field at Rogers Center. We got the roof open for the first time this year. Gausman bouncing, kicks and deals. First pitch hit foul off to the left, 0-1. Time of the first pitch today is 3:09 Eastern, and for the first time this season, the temperature in Toronto actually matters to the game. 19 degrees, not a cloud in the sky, and maybe just a little bit of wind blowing the banners toward right field. Gausman's 0-1. Called low, looked pretty good. A hesitation on the throwback from Kirk. 1 ball, 1 strike. That was the first splitter of the day from Kevin Gausman. 4-seamer, splitter, and slider is the mix. Righty's 1-1. Swing and a miss. Went right back to the splitter and got low to chase outside. 1-2.
Wasn't a great split finger, but good enough. Had a little bit too much horizontal movement. I like for him to get on top of that pitch so it has a little bit more vertical action, but still got low way out in front.
1-2. Fouled away. Fastball in on the hands, 95, and Lowe sent it over the netting back into the seats.
It's early, but Kevin Gausman's got some good stuff tonight. Like you said, that fastball It's 95.4 miles an hour.
Gausman sets, pressing that lead left foot into the hill. 1-2. Lined left field, base hit for Josh Lowe. Welcome back to the big leagues. Just his second game of the year, coming off the injured list today. Lowe comes up with a leadoff single.
Every pitch in that at-bat was outside, whether it was the split finger, whether it was the fastball. So Josh Lowe did a good job looking outside, really just dropped the bat, got the barrel to it, and he has a leadoff hit for the Rays.
Lowe chatting with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on first. Vladdy covering his mouth with the glove as he talks to the Rays runner, who takes his lead. Here's Brandon Lau. The pitch. Swing and a fly ball right field. Going back Santander at the track, looking up. It's gone. 2-run homer for Brandon Lau, and before an out's recorded, the Rays take a 2-0 lead.
Just a four-seam fastball, bell tie right down the middle. Brandon Lau hits that thing 106 miles an hour, almost 400 feet into that bullpen in right field. A good start for the Rays.
Brandon Lau makes a habit of crushing the Toronto Blue Jays, and he has done that here early today. Home run number 6, RBIs 21 and 22 on the season. 2-0 Tampa Bay. Nobody out, nobody on. Top of the first. Pitch to Junior Caminero. Fastball called a strike, 0-1. Adrian Johnson works the plate today, the crew chief. Quinn Walcott at first. Ramon De Jesus man second. Paul Clemens at third. Third game in a row this series where the Rays have scored first. Next pitch, sliced foul. 0-2. Game 1, Tampa Bay had a 4-run third inning that the Blue Jays came back from, but then gave up a lead late and lost. And then yesterday, the Rays scored in the 4th inning to take a 1-0 lead before the Blue Jays hit a 3-run homer in the 6th to eventually win the game 3-1. The 0-2. Low ball 1.
Of course, you always don't want to be fighting from behind. You don't want to be clawing your way back into ball games, but when the offense looks like it has, they're probably not too worried right now, down 2-0.
Blue Jays only had 3 yesterday, but before that, 5 games in a row with at least 6 runs. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, he got him. Caminero nearly lost the helmet, whiffing at the splitter low. 1 out.
And that's the split finger with that good downward action that I like to see. That's telling me that he's getting on top of that pitch. Really good vertical drop. Junior Caminero, good hitter, swings over the top of it.
Big first out for Gausman. 2-0 for the Rays, top of the first. Jonathan Aranda to hit. Left-handed hitting first baseman with an open stance. Bat on his left shoulder, the pitch. Inside, ball 1. This first inning is brought to you by Armstrong Bird Food. Armstrong Bird Food, the reason birds fly north. Feeding Blue Jays since 1986. Visit ArmstrongBirdFood.com. Right-hander kicks and deals. And misses up and away, ball 2. Gausman facing the toughest out in this Rays lineup. Jonathan Aranda hitting .339 this year, .992 on base plus slugging, 6 home runs and 20 RBIs. 2-0. Swing and a miss. He's got that perfect looking stat line that you want, where it's an above 300 average, above 400 on base percentage, and above 500 slugging percentage for his triple slash. 2-1. Swing and a miss.
Well, good thing for him, he's well above each and every one of those numbers.
Yeah, 339, 430, 562. Gausman with a pair of fastballs, though, has produced a pair of swinging strikes. 2-2 count, 1 out, and the base is empty in the top of the first. Gausman sets, glove at his belt. And it's 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him right back to the fastball. That one at 96. 2 outs.
Well, that was a good pitch. You could tell that Jonathan Aranda was thinking something off speed, probably thinking splitter. And Kevin Gausman just blew that 96-mile-an-hour fastball right by him. That was belt high right down the middle.
Recognized, though, that Aranda was a little bit late on his heater and attacked him with it, whether that was Gausman or Kirk's decision. It works out either way. And now with 2 outs, the third baseman, Addison Barger, creeps in. Pitch to Cameron Meisner. Fouled off the mask of Kirk, 0-1. Cameron Meisner hitting .257 this year. 3 home runs in 37 games. He's a rookie, but he did play 8 games last year with the Rays, going 1 for 15 in his first stint in the majors. 29 for 113 in his second stint. No knee bend in his stance for the tall left-handed hitter. Gausman's pitch. Swing and a 1-bouncer over to short. Backhanded Bichette throws to first just in time to end the inning. The Rays strike early, though. Leadoff single Josh Lowe. 2-run homer Brandon Lau. And it's 2-0 for the Rays, middle of the first. Bichette, Guerrero, Santander to hit next against Zach Littell. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with...
Okay, Blue Jays, let's win this series against the Rays. Come on, Blue Jays, let's go. Thank you, insiders, for hanging out with us today for the Blue Jays rubber match on Work from Dome Day. Hopefully, we'll have the dome open today on this great day here in the spring, turning into summer. We really appreciate you being here. Go Jays, go. Let's get behind them. They've been so up and down lately. Today's the day. Let's win this series against an AL East rival and keep on pushing to the next one. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Turn on the bell so you don't miss it when we go live for every single Toronto Blue Jays game all season long. As well as our Playoff Pulse campaign, we are live for 3 games tonight. An NBA matchup between the Thunder and who's the other team? The Denver Nuggets. In a Game 6, a very decisive Game 6. Oklahoma City could end it for them, as well as 2 NHL games. Cheering on the Jets later tonight. And then the Hurricanes and the Caps. Maybe Ovi's done after today. We appreciate you being here. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you in the hockey and the basketball tonight to support SickKids Hospital. Let's go, Blue Jays. Let's get that win.
Listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
2-0 for Tampa Bay as we go to the bottom of the first inning at Rogers Center. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Zach Littell's pitch to Bo Bichette. Called a strike, 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Brandon Lau with the top of the first homer has given Tampa Bay the lead. Littell's 0-1. Inside, backs Bichette off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Zach Littell, 29 years old, 6'4", 250 pounds from North Carolina, is 2-5 with a 4.40 ERA and 8 starts. 1-1. Low, 2 balls, 1 strike. A converted reliever, Littell throws a slider and a splitter more than anything else, but also has a 4-seamer, sinker, and sweeper. His 2-1. Swing and a ground ball over the mound, up the middle, a base hit. Bo Bichette leads it off the right way. He's got a single to start the day for the Blue Jays.
And that's what you have to do with Zach Littell. He doesn't have overpowering stuff. The 4-seam fastball sits about 92 miles an hour, but he leads with the slider, then the split finger, and then he'll mix in that 4-seam fastball. You have to use the big part of the field. You have to wait back on those off-speed pitches and try to hit it right back up the middle.
Littell from the extreme first base side of the rubber deals to Vlad Guerrero Jr. and misses high at 92. Ball 1. We only have about half an inning to work with, but so far it feels like it's a bit of a lower zone today. A couple borderline pitches at the top called balls, and the reverse at the bottom of the zone. 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Littell's overall numbers on the season as Anthony Santander slams the donut off his bat near one of our field mics. The season for Littell, the overall numbers don't look great. He's been a lot better than that recently. 2-0. Outside, 3-0. You look at his last 5 starts, he's allowed 10 total runs in those starts. Beginning of the year, his second and third starts really hurt his overall numbers. He gave up 12 earned runs in 11 innings in 2 starts. 3-0 pitch is high. That's a 4-pitch walk to Vlad Guerrero Jr. And it's a shaky start to this outing for Zach Littell, who gives up a single and a walk.
And the Blue Jays have to take advantage of this. Worst case scenario in this situation here, Anthony Santander needs to hit something to the right side and move those runners over. Obviously, you'd like something a little bit better than that, but you have to score that run from second base with nobody out in this inning.
First and second, nobody out, like Chris said. 2-0 Rays, the pitch. Called a strike. Rays shift heavily to the first base side against the switch hitter Santander, who bats left. Brandon Lau is deep, the second baseman, and he's also playing at least halfway to first. The 0-1. Foul tipped. Santander looking to elevate that four-seamer. Goes down 0-2.
Well, I don't normally agree with shifts in general, but I do agree with this one. Brandon Lau is playing pretty much where Anthony Santander hits a lot of ground balls in that hole on the right side.
Shortstop Walls playing up the middle behind Bichette. 0-2. Popped up. Foul territory behind home plate. Jansen scrambling over near the on-deck circle, makes the catch. Bo Bichette tags from second and slides into a vacated third base. Really awkward play. Danny Jansen, credit to him, made the catch stepping in and on a pile of equipment on the Blue Jays on-deck circle. But the third baseman, Caminero, came over to try and help him out. Walls didn't cover third base, and wisely, Bo Bichette advances to make it runners on the corners, 1 down.
It's really interesting to me, and watching that play unfold, I could see it happening, and that's really dangerous, especially for a catcher, for Danny Jansen, slipping on that on-deck circle, and then there's a lot of stuff over there, a couple of weights, a couple of bats. I'm surprised that's actually allowed.
First and third, 1 out, pitch to George Springer. Check swing liner foul, 0-1. There's at least 3 different bat-shaped things on that, and a couple donuts, maybe a spray can or 2 for some pine tar, stick pine tar. 0-1. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Jansen made the catch and then kind of folded down to the ground because he had stepped on a bat and it rolled forward. Good thing is he's all right, and somehow the Blue Jays advanced 90 feet, taking advantage of it. The 1-1. Bouncing ball hit to shortstop. Bichette going to come to the plate. Flip to second, 1. Throw over to first. And that's a double play to end the inning and keep the Blue Jays off the board after the single and the walk. A pop out in foul territory and a ground ball double play makes it no runs on a hit and 1 left. 2-0 Rays after the first. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The PGA Championship is on Sirius XM. Follow all the action on Channel 92.
Yes! You kidding me? What a shot.
Just begging for it to get up a little, and it does. What a shot, Billy.
Pay attention. Oh, yes!
Coverage from Quail Hollow Club is happening right now.
Sometimes it feels like it's meant to be. What a finish.
Wow. The PGA Championship on Channel 92 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
This is Dave LaGreca, creator of the biggest pro wrestling show on the planet, Busted Open. Don't miss myself and my Hall of Fame cast and crew as we break down every story in and out of the ring and talk to the top names in the business, like the legend himself, The Undertaker.
I'm actually glad to be on a real show.
Catch Busted Open live every day from 9 to noon Eastern on SiriusXM Fight Nation, channel 156, and on the SiriusXM app.
Blue Jays fans, after this game, get back to what's really important. Your fantasy football team. We're talking about it right now on Fantasy Sports Radio, Channel 87, and the SiriusXM app.
Sportsnet Radio Network.
The second inning is presented by Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet on popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. Download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly, Ontario only. 2-0 for the Rays over the Blue Jays on a beautiful sunny day in downtown Toronto. Second inning starts with Kevin Gausman offering to Jose Caballero, right-handed hitting right fielder for the Rays. Here's the pitch. Check swing, pitch down and away, appeal to first, and he did go, says Quinn Walcott, so it's 0-1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Show Ali, our host and producer. Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors. 0-1. Caballero hooks it foul. No balls, 2 strikes. For Jose Caballero, the former Mariner, this is his 12th start this season in right field. He also has 12 at short and 2 at third base. He's been a utility player his whole career, but not necessarily an infielder and outfielder. Usually he's been confined to the infield. 0-2, low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. To me, it's pretty impressive that he's played a significant portion in right field when in his career before this season, he had played 2 major league innings total in the outfield. One-two pitch. Line near short and down in left center, a base hit.
I don't know how Caballero got to that baseball. It was a split finger down and away, almost off the plate outside. And he kind of reached around that strike zone and actually got the barrel to that baseball, hit it on the line to left field for a base hit and a leadoff runner in this inning.
I mean, that's a case where you kind of make the pitch you want, and the hitter finds a way still to get a good swing off on it. Now Caballero, very dangerous on the base paths, is at first with Taylor Walls up, the switch hitter. Third baseman Barger playing in the pitch. Poked high in the air, shallow down the left field line, and foul out of play into the seats. Fan makes a catch on the fly with his glove. A little flex in the crowd. It's 0-1.
And if you're Kevin Gausman out there, you have to vary your looks, especially with Caballero at first base. He has 9 stolen bases this year, 44 stolen bases last year. Chances are high that he's going to try to take off during this at-bat.
0-1. Bunt shown, and a good bunt put down the third baseline, rolling on the dirt. Barger's going to see if it'll go foul, and it won't. He picks it up, and that's going to be a bunt base hit for Taylor Walls. That is textbook. Stayed on the dirt the whole way out of the circle and down the line, never once touching the turf or the foul line.
Well, a lot of people, I'm sure, watching this game will say, why didn't Addison Barger pick that ball up and throw Taylor Walls out at first base? Even if he picks that ball up, they're not getting Taylor Walls at first base. That's the only thing that you can do in that situation. Just hope that that ball takes a left turn and goes foul. And fortunately for the Jays, for Kevin Gausman, it stayed fair.
Tough start to this inning. A pitcher's pitch lined into left center field for a base hit, and then a bunt hit by Walls, and 2 are aboard with nobody out. 2-0 Rays. Gausman looks at second, now deals to Chandler Simpson, who shows bunt and pops this one up. Barger in, makes the catch, and there's a break for Gausman. There's 1 out.
That's the break that Kevin Gausman needed. He deserved that one. Made a good pitch to Jose Caballero for a base hit. The bunt base hit from Taylor Walls. And how about that? A little pop-up sack bunt from Chandler Simpson. If he gets that ball on the ground, he's tough to get out at first base, too.
They probably go to another base just because it's easier to get someone else than him. But he popped it up, and he popped it up foul. So the Blue Jays get an out there, and now with 2 on and 1 out, here's Danny Jansen.
And now you can dream about a double play here, especially with Danny Jansen at the plate.
Jansen coming off an 0 for 4 day, 3 groundouts, including 2 to the mound. The pitch in the dirt, ball 1. Jansen, who caught so many Kevin Gausman starts in a Blue Jay uniform, facing off against the Blue Jays right-hander. Catching on a 3rd straight day. He grips the handle of his bat with no batting gloves, although a hand protector on the lead left hand. Eye black for Jansen. And the customary rec specs. The 1-0. Check swing. Pitch was down. Appeal to first, no swing. Didn't look all that close. It's 2-0.
Finally, that eye black that Danny Jansen wears is useful.
It is. Same with Jose Caballero, who has cat whiskers of some sort. He's on second. On first base is Taylor Walls. 2-0 Rays, 1 out. Top of the 2nd inning. And the pitch. Called a strike. Wonder if Gausman starts to think about a move to second, maybe an inside move. The Rays base runners are testing their luck right now. Some big secondaries, especially Jose Caballero off second base, is stretching his lead out very big when Gausman starts the motion, and there's an inside move. No throw from Gausman.
I mean, you said it. This is a perfect opportunity for Jose Caballero to potentially take third base, and he was kind of moving around out there. He had a huge lead. Kevin Gausman with the perfect inside move there.
Step off now and throw back to second, and a dive back from Caballero. They tried to surprise him going 2 in a row. Didn't work out though, so now Caballero knows that almost certainly they won't throw over a 3rd time. Ernie Clement, the second baseman, playing up the middle due to the shift, is only a couple feet away from the bag. The pitch, Caballero takes off, low a ball, throw down to third, not in time. Addison Barger gave a look like maybe the Blue Jays should take a look at this. The throw bounced, Barger picked it and applied a tag. But for now, a double steal makes it 2nd and 3rd for the Rays.
Well, I thought they got him. Obviously, our view is not the greatest view out there, but it looks like John Schneider. They're not going to review that.
It's interesting. Schneider almost made the challenge sign, but rescinded it. And I think that's the right call looking at it now. It was really close, but I think Caballero got in there. Infield in, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out. 2-1 pitch to Danny Jansen. Lined out to left field, charging in Lucas. That's down for a base hit. Caballero scores. Right behind him, Walls. Throw to the plate, and they got him. What a toss from Nathan Lucas. 1 hops to home plate. Picked up chest high by Kirk, who tags Walls on the chest to make it a 1-run single rather than a 2-run single. It is still 3-0 Rays on the RBI hit from Danny Jansen.
What a throw from Nathan Lucas. That was a perfect throw on a line, a 1-hopper, that long hop that's really easy for the catcher to catch. And Alejandro Kirk catches it perfectly, puts the tag on Taylor Walls for a big out really in this ball game, keeping it 3-0 instead of 4-0.
And now 2 down in the inning. Top of the order hitter is up. It's Josh Lowe. Danny Jansen leading off at first. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. playing a step off the bag, half holding him on. The pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Foul, third base side, long run Barger, and that one hits off the netting where the short wall starts to jut out toward the field. It's 0-1. For Nathan Lucas, too, he did not have a lot of time. He was shallow, but while Caballero, the lead runner, was waiting for that ball to get down, it appeared like Walls got a great read on it. He took off right away. He was only about 10 feet behind Caballero, the lead runner, rounding third a second after Caballero took off. Lucas put enough on it to get the out and outfield assist. And a 3-0 lead for the Rays. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
And I was surprised at that arm strength. Obviously, Addison Barger, we've seen him show off that arm in right field, but pretty nice arm out there in left field from Nathan Lucas.
One pitch. Popped up again, foul, and another one out of play, 1-2. Now a discussion behind the plate happening between Adrian Johnson and Josh Lowe. Lowe was pointing out, I don't know if it was toward the mound or something else, but something seems to have at least annoyed Josh Lowe, the left-handed hitter for the Rays.
Maybe a quick pitch? That's
Maybe.
all I could think of. I can't think of anything else that he's annoyed with right now.
We'll keep an eye on it. Second game of the season for Lowe. First game back off the injured list. The 1-2. Hit away foul off to the left. Deep into the seats in the 100 level.
And they're still having a discussion. That one was a little quicker than the first one, but who knows what they're talking about.
I wonder if is Gausman coming to a full stop. He bounces that left foot, freezes for a moment, and now the 1-2. Broken bat bouncer to second on 2 hops picked up by Clement. Turns his body, throws to first, and a good stretch by Guerrero to get the out and end the inning. The Rays score 1 on 3 hits. They leave 1 on. It could have been 2, but a great throw by Nathan Lucas cuts down Taylor Walls at the plate. So it's 3-0 Rays, middle of the second. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center. Streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart is Canada's building center, a solid neighbor to call upon when you've got a job to do. Your dependable home improvement store that offers the added value of Air Miles reward miles with every purchase of $15 or more. For a participating location, visit timbermart.ca.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's building center. Visit timbermart.ca.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Verdugo for his 7th strikeout.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Alejandro Kirk digging in for the Blue Jays. 3-0 for the Rays. Bottom of the second, and the pitch from Zach Littell called a strike, 0-1. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors. The 0-1. Called a strike again, 0-2. Alejandro Kirk hitting .293 on the year, .716 OPS, 4 doubles, 3 homers, and 16 RBIs. He's coming off a 2-for-4 day, which included the 3-run homer that provided all 3 runs for the Blue Jays in the win. 0-2. In the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
In his last 13 games, he's hitting .401. Wait, 404? 401. I'm not sure.
It's your stat. I don't know what you're looking at me for.
Well, I saw this stat earlier, and I'm trying to remember exactly what it was.
404.
404, there you go.
Games. I found it. 1-2. Fouled off to the right, back behind the plate.
That's what happens when you get old and you don't write things down.
Yeah. Well, start writing because you're not getting younger. Kirk, Barger, and Clement up this inning. 1-2. Swing and a liner. Center field. Slide and a catch in center by Meisner. Really nice play from the rookie center fielder. More good contact from Kirk, but nothing to show for it. 1 out.
I mean, Kirk just continues to swing the bat well. It was a tough slider, and Kirk just barreled that thing up, hit a good line drive. Meisner makes a pretty nice diving play in those shadows out in center field.
Kirk almost hit it too hard. He hit it 109 miles an hour. 101 might have dropped in front of Meisner. Pitch to Addison Barger. High, ball one.
It looked like Meisner landed on that left shoulder of his, got up really slowly, and he's kind of bending over in center field.
Yeah, and that is his throwing arm, so that's a little concerning for the Rays. 1-0. High, 2-0. A Rays team that brought Josh Lowe off the IL today, but replaced him with Travis Jankowski. Lowe back from an oblique strain. Jankowski, an outfielder, tweaked his groin yesterday. 2-0. Called strike. Left-handed hitting Barger, 13 for 61, 6 doubles, a homer, 8 RBIs. Wide open stance left side, the 2-1. Check swing, pitch was high, appealed to third, and he went. Looked like it to the naked eye from up here. It's 2-2. Three 0 for the Rays. Home half of the second. Bases empty and 1 out. Littell with his light-colored glove sets at his chest. And the 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep right field. Looking up, Caballero. That baby's gone. A sky-scraping blast for Addison Barger. His second home run of this season. And the Blue Jays are on the board. It's 3-1.
That's a beautiful swing from Addison Barger. 109 miles an hour off the bat. 414 feet out to right field. It was just a hanging splitter that Addison Barger waits back on and absolutely drills that thing into the bleachers in right field. What a swing.
First pitch down to Ernie Clement, up top, ball one. Swings like that, why Addison Barger has become a constant in the lineup for the Blue Jays over the last week, maybe week and a half. 1-0. Called a strike. Littell kicks and offers. Fouled back 1-2. You could say this about a lot of things, but doesn't that home run look just a little bit prettier in the sunlight? CN Tower hanging over right field. 1-2 to Clement. Hit on the ground is shortstop. Moving to his left. Walls picks it up, shuffles his feet, and throws to first for the second out.
I mean, I think there's very few things prettier than an Addison Barger moonshot. But I've always said that I love the Rogers Center when the roof is open. When the roof is closed, there's a lot of ballparks that are better than it.
Roof open, it is fantastic. 2 outs, nobody on. 3-1 for the Rays, and the pitch to Miles Straw. It's popped up, foul territory, right side. Danny Jansen ditching the mask on the end. Warning track, makes the catch right up against the netting, and that will do it for the inning. The Blue Jays get one. Addison Barger with a solo shot, and Toronto on the board. 3-1 is the score after 2 innings in favor of the Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365. Must be 19 or older. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you or someone you know has concerns about gambling, visit connectsontario.ca.
Mami, tú solo escribes.
Hola, soy Andrés Jiménez y estás escuchando el béisbol de los Toronto Blue Jays en la cadena de Radio Sportnet.
Mami, tú solo escribes.
Welcome back to downtown Toronto. It's the Blue Jays trailing the Rays 3-1 as we get going in the third inning at Rogers Center. Alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Kevin Gausman on the hill. His pitch to Brandon Lau. Called a strike. Lau with a 2-run shot in the first inning. Difference in the game right now. Rays up 3-1. His 6th home run of the season. The 0-1. Pitch misses low. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And you could tell that Kevin Gausman and Alejandro Kirk aren't messing around with four-seam fastballs thigh high like they did in his last at-bat. Hit a home run to right field. A couple of splitters to start this at-bat off.
1-1. Fastball high and tight, fouled back, 1-2.
If you're going to throw a fastball, that's the location right there. Good four-seam fastball up around the hands. Can't do anything with that.
You can't let Lau get extended. He's got big power. Hit 39 home runs in 2021 and really hasn't been healthy enough over the last couple years to come close to matching it. But in less action, has hit 20 homers each of the last 2 years. 1-2. Hit hard, but foul, way off to the left.
How about that fastball? 97 miles an hour on the black outside.
If you're going to empty the tank at any point, this is the part of the lineup you want to do it against. Lau, Caminero, Aranda, 2-3-4 are really leading this offense, especially with no Yandy Diaz. 1-2, rolled over on the ground to second. Backhanded Clement, throws back to first, and there's one out. Jays Cares 50-50 jackpot is approaching $300,000, $299,700 right now, and it could be yours in just 1 week. Thanks to your support, thousands of kids will have the opportunity to play baseball through Bassett's Pitch In, his foundation that partners with Jays Care. Don't miss your chance to win big while supporting a great cause. BlueJays.com/5050 Ontario or Nova Scotia. First pitch to Junior Caminero is a splitter for a strike. Pardon me, that's the slider on the first pitch from Kevin Gausman. Either way, he's ahead 0-1. Oh, 1 offering. Swing and a miss. 97 again, nothing in 2.
Such a good sequence there. A good slider away for a strike and then bust him in with that four-seam fastball at 97. Now you can really do whatever you want. You can go up, you can go away.
0-2 pitch. Bounce to the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Slight knee bend for Caminero. Pops the bat back and forth off of his right shoulder. The 1-2. Grounded foul, third base side, banging off the camera well beyond the Blue Jays dugout. Another 1-2. Foul back again.
He's really got a good fastball today. 98 miles an hour with that last four-seamer. I keep climbing that ladder if I'm Kevin Gausman, especially if I have that kind of command, that kind of velocity.
He kicks and offers. Missed outside, went with the slider that time. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He struck out Caminero in the first inning. It was on a splitter in the dirt. Righties 2-2. Lined off of Gausman. He's racing to pick it up on the line. Tags Caminero for the out, and now the attention goes to the Blue Jays starting pitcher. That ball was hit 117 miles an hour off of Kevin Gausman, who looks to be in a little bit of discomfort at a minimum, but he did stay on his feet. Now his hands on his knees on the hill.
Yeah, I'm not sure where that got him. I think it was on the lower body. But you can see him just limping just a little bit. Yeah, right in that right hip. That can't feel good right now.
I was hoping for him, maybe it was a little more on the backside. The good news is he never went down to the ground. He's still standing up right now. And it looks like he's going to try out a warm-up pitch or two, although Alejandro Kirk is currently getting some dirt out of his cleats on the backside of the mound.
And that's his push-off leg. I'm actually not sure what would be worse, push-off or landing leg. But it is his push-off leg, so he uses that leg, obviously, to push off.
See Gausman throw a pitch here to Alejandro Kirk. Look normal for what that's worth, but still talking right now with Jose Ministral and John Schneider. He's showing something, it looks like, on his hand. The ball did ricochet and hit him a second time, but it looks like he's going to remain in this ball game, and that is great news for Gausman and the Blue Jays. Will have to keep monitoring it for now. You know what? And we're getting a look on the Sportsnet TV broadcast. He might have scuffed up his hand as he went to get the ball, used his throwing hand to stop himself in a slide on the dirt, picking up the baseball. Either way, Gausman remains in, 2 outs, and the base is empty, 3-1 Rays.
Also, we haven't talked much about this, but heck of a play.
Really great play. Really good play. Right on left, the pitch to Jonathan Aranda. Hit foul off to the left side. So that ball hit 116.5 miles an hour. Hit Gausman, rolled all the way from the mound to the first baseline, and he beat Caminero to the ball by enough that he could stand up and tag him on the line. Didn't even have to throw over to first base. 0-1. Fouled off to the left again, 0-2.
Who says pitchers aren't athletes?
You, Austin.
I think I've said that a couple times.
Gausman, though, looking good in terms of his pitches right now, too. Just threw a 95-mile-an-hour heater, so doesn't seem to be impacting his velocity, at least. I'm sure it's something they'll continue to check out after Gausman wraps up this inning. 2 outs, top of the third, 3-1 Rays, bases empty. And the 0-2 to Aranda. Bounce to the plate, ball 1. New baseballs for Adrian Johnson. Puts them into his pouches on both the right and left side for the home plate umpire. Gausman pulls on the brim of his cap and steps back onto the rubber. He's set, bouncing that lead left leg. And the 1-2. Hit back foul. Good piece of contact there from Aranda. It was 97 on the outside edge, and he was all over it, just missed. Infield shifted toward the first base side of the diamond. Left-handed hitter Aranda loves to pull. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Splitter at the bottom of the zone in the first 1-2-3 inning for Kevin Gausman, even with a bruise on his right hip added in between. 3-1 Rays, middle of the third. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The drama builds.
Baseball's in full swing.
This ball's gone!
Hear every MLB game on Sirius XM.
And they'll be talking about this one for a long, long time.
Listen to your favorite team all season long with your hometown announcers on the Sirius XM app.
A breathtaking home run by Aaron Judge.
For a complete MLB schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
What a night!
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on Sirius XM Channel 89 and every morning on the Sirius XM app.
The NASCAR Cup Series is on SiriusXM. We're back on the track Sunday.
5 p.m. Eastern.
It's the NASCAR All-Star Race
From North Wilkesboro Speedway on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90 and on the SiriusXM app. For up-to-date betting lines, fantasy plays, and the latest NASCAR news, catch the pre-race show before every Cup Series race. Plus, 2 hours of post-race coverage on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90. 24/7, 365 coverage of all things NASCAR. All things NASCAR happens exclusively on SiriusXM NASCAR Radio Channel 90.
A Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom of the third inning, the Blue Jays are trailing the Tampa Bay Rays 3-1 as Nathan Lucas steps up. Here's the pitch from Zach Littell. It's high and outside, ball one. This third inning brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Guelph and Elmira. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986, so protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection. Next pitch to Lucas, hit foul off to the left. It's 1-1. Littell kicks, delivers, and Lucas fights it away, foul 1-2.
The Sportsnet cameras just showed Pete Walker on the phone talking to the bullpen. I'm not sure what's happening, but that can't be a good sign. There is some movement down there in that bullpen right now. Maybe just warning them.
The 1-2. Called, strike three, 91 on the inside edge, 1 out. Well, if you weren't with us before the break, the reason why is Kevin Gausman in the top of the third got hit with an 117-mile-per-hour line drive in the right hip. He stayed on the hill to complete the inning, but Mason Fluharty has a jacket off. You can see his jerseys moving around in the bullpen. We'll see if that develops anymore. Pitch to Bo Bichette. Low ball one.
It could be a, hey, just in case. He's sitting down, he's cooling down. Who knows what he's going to feel like when he gets back out on that mound. Wait and see.
The 1-0. Hit foul off to the right.
And it does look like a wait and see. Nobody's on the mound yet. Like you said, Mason Fluharty moving around, running some sprints out there. They're probably going to let Kevin Gausman go out there and just see how he feels.
Gausman is still in the dugout. He has not gone down into the clubhouse, which generally would be a good sign. It doesn't look like, from the way he's dressed and sitting, that he is out of this ball game. Littell's 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Meanwhile, on the other side, his opponent, Zach Littell, has looked quite good so far. He's gone once through the order, allowing just 2 hits and 1 run while walking 1. Lone big mistake was the home run allowed to Barger in the second. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Littell strikes out Bo Bichette, and there are 2 down.
He's just such an interesting starter. Obviously, he was a reliever for a lot of his career, but he leads with the slider, then he throws the split finger, and then he throws the fastball. Must be such a difficult guy to face, especially when you see so many hard fastballs in today's Major League Baseball. Then you get a guy like this who leads with 2 off-speed pitches.
Unique in many ways. Littell deals to Vlad Guerrero Jr., misses inside, ball 1. Welcome to the Timbermart broadcast booth. Don't strike out on your next home improvement project. Your team at Timbermart has the great advice and the products you need, so you'll get the job done right, knock it out of the park, win the day with Timbermart, Canada's building center. Called strike against Vladdy. It's 1-1, and alongside Chris LaRue, I'm Ben Schulman. Littell looking to strike out this side after he got Lucas looking and Bichette swinging. 2 outs, bottom of 3, the 1-1. Inside. We're seeing more of this in today's game, but still not that common that guys go from reliever to starter. Much more common the other way around. The 2-1. Swing and a deep drive. Left field, headed to the bullpen. It's out of here. A blast from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., his 5th of the season, and the Blue Jays have homered in consecutive innings. It's 3-2 for the Rays over Toronto, bottom 3.
Well, how about that swing from Vladimir Guerrero Jr.? Hit that on a frozen rope into the Blue Jays bullpen in left field, 115 miles an hour off the bat. Blue Jays are right back in this ball game. It's 3-2.
We're seeing more line drives than high fly balls at this stage of the season from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., but he hits it so hard, even a lot of those line drives have a chance to get out. That one did for Vladdy, and it's a one-run game with Anthony Santander hitting and 2 outs. Littell's pitch. Swing and a high pop-up back of second. Deep on the right field turf, Brandon Lau is waved off by the right fielder Jose Caballero, who makes the catch to end the inning. 1 run for the Blue Jays on 1 hit, a solo shot from Vladimir Guerrero Jr., and it's 3-2 for the Rays after 3 innings. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Sports are all about moments.
One of the most incredible, miraculous finishes we have ever seen.
And you can hear them all.
He scores! Alex Ovechkin! There's a new goal-scoring champion!
As they happen.
Oh my goodness! Shohei Ohtani, a sayonara swing!
Live in the moment.
Rory McIlroy on his knees. He's won the Masters.
With live sports on Sirius XM and the Sirius XM app.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front Office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the Sirius XM app.
In season or out of season, the #1 place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
4th inning in Toronto. Kevin Gausman back out on the hill. Great news for the Blue Jays and their fans after Gausman was struck by a liner last inning. And his first pitch to Cameron Meisner called a strike. Rays leading 3-2 with the Blue Jays with the last 2 runs in the game, including Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s 5th home run of the season, which came in the bottom of the 3rd. Right on left, Gausman to Meisner in the dirt. 1 ball, 1 strike. This 4th inning is presented by Bet365. Download the Bet365 app for today's baseball odds and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. The 1-1. Swing and a deep drive out to right. Santander going back, turns around. It's gone. Cameron Meisner with his 4th major league home run and his 4th this season. The Rays extend their lead back out to 2. It's 4-2 Tampa Bay in the 4th.
Well, it wasn't a bad pitch from Kevin Gausman. It was a slider, one of those slower sliders down below the bottom of that strike zone, and Cameron Meisner goes down and golfs that thing on a line into the bleachers in right field. A little bit higher than I thought watching that replay. Maybe at the bottom of the strike zone. Still a pretty good swing from Meisner.
So a 4th home run already today. Pitch to Jose Caballero, cut on and missed, strike 1. Well, early on this game looking more like game 1 of this series, the 11-9 slugfest, rather than game 2, the 3-1 win for the Blue Jays. 0-1. Called a strike, 0-2.
Do you think the pitchers are going to say it's because the roof is open?
They probably will. But I've talked to a handful of guys over the last couple of years, and I just can't get a good read on what that actually means for the ball. 0-2. Foul back again. I'd like to think, I'd hope, that the Blue Jays have some very scientific data about it, and their front office or their coaching staff or both have a good idea on what their opinion is. Does the ball fly more roof open or roof closed? 0-2. Swing, slicing one bouncer to second. Picked up Clements, throws over to first, gets Caballero one down. But I've heard guys tell me it flies better roof open. I've heard better roof closed. It's gone back and forth, at least from the players.
From my point of view today, every single one of those home runs has been a pitch over the middle of the plate.
Well, I think all of them cleared the wall by enough.
Right.
That roof open, roof closed doesn't make
wouldn't
a
matter.
One out, here's Taylor Walsh. Switch hitter bats left, swings at the first pitch and shoots it to left field. On the run, Lucas dives in the corner. He got it. What a catch. Nathan Lucas sliding into the sidewall, 2 down.
How about that? An outfield assist, a diving catch. What a day for Nathan Lucas so far.
From our view, he actually disappeared into the corner making the catch, but you knew he got it because Barger put 2 hands in the air, Gausman put 2 hands in the air, Vladdy took his hat off. They were all loving it on the big play from Lucas. 2 outs, 4-2 Rays. Top of the 4th, and a first pitch strike to Chandler Simpson, the left-handed hitter. Simpson popped up a bunt to third base in foul territory in the second. The 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. Simpson hitting 8th today. He had let off a ton in his debut season to start, but probably a better spot to put a true rookie in now, having him hit near the bottom of the order with Josh Lowe back off the IL leading off. 0-2 pitches low, 1 ball, 2 strikes. He was the first Ray ever, not the oldest franchise, but still the first Ray ever to make his major league debut hitting at the top of the order.
It's a lot of pressure.
1-2 pitch. Foul back.
I think there's 2 spots in the order where hitters that aren't seasoned or veterans tend to do too much and put too much pressure on themselves. Top of the order, leadoff, and then you have the cleanup spot. Because there's this idea of what you're supposed to do in that spot.
1-2. Foul tip and dropped out of the glove by Kurtz. So it'll be a foul ball. It's still 1-2.
Obviously, at the top of the order, you're supposed to work the count. You're supposed to see a bunch of pitches.
Cleanup hitter, you're supposed to clean up
the
the
homers.
bases, yeah.
So guys try to do too much. They change their swing. They change their approach.
It's the only 2 spots in the order that actually have their own names outside of the number. Leadoff and cleanup.
There you go.
1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Splitter strikes out Simpson, but Cameron Meisner, the rookie, with a leadoff home run, and the Rays are up 4-2, middle of the 4th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Are you ready for some football? On Wednesday, May 21st, gear up for football season with the George Springer Replica Football Jersey Giveaway presented by TD. Rush to the ballpark because this giveaway is available to the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center. It's Wednesday night. Lights up. Let's go. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Of all the things that Timber Mart can lend a hand to build, community ranks among the most important. And with the Timber Mart Local Leaders Initiative, we strive to recognize those dedicated to making their hometowns a better place to live, work, and play. From now to June 25th, you can vote to select our grand prize winner. They'll receive a $10,000 grant to support their outstanding initiative as Timber Mart's Local Leader of the Year. To vote, visit local-leaders.com. Timber Mart, Canada's building center.
Join us for Cricket Day at the Park, presented by TD, Saturday, May 31st. Arrive early to receive your Blue Jays Cricket Warm-Up Jacket giveaway, presented by TD. Created in collaboration with Cricket Canada. Don't miss out on being a part of the Cricket Day spectacle at Rogers Center. Find your seats at BlueJays.com.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365.
What's up, Blue Jays fans? Oh yeah, middle of the 4th inning. What a play by Lucas. Holy catch. What a catch. Holy Mackinac, what a catch. I love it. Thanks for hanging out with us. There's Stefan in the chat. Kim as well. Good to see you, Kim. Hey, Sonia Santos, Eli, Brandon. Oh, hey, there I am. Chicago Sports Insider. Yep, that's me too. It's my idea, so I'm running with it, right? I'm trying to raise money for Lurie's here in Chicago as well, because my babies have received the same life-saving care that I received from SickKids Hospital. There you go, SickKids in the chat. Don't forget to check out that link that's pinned up there. And we just got a homer there. We're rocking 4-2 Jays. Come on, baby. Let's get it going. We've got to take the third game of this series. Thanks for hanging out with us, Blue Jays fans. Steph's got the jacuzzi going. Uh-oh. Nice, buddy. Enjoy. What a beautiful day outside. We'll see you out there and back in the chat. Go, Jays, go!
2 balls, no strikes. Two-0 pitch. Swing and a high fly ball. Deep left center field. Meisner back on the warning track. Leaps and he makes the catch up against the wall. What a day so far for Cameron Meisner. And there's one out.
The Out-of-Town Scoreboard is brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill, 100% Canadian owned and operated since 1992. Every Tuesday night, wings are just half price. Visit stlouiswings.com for details. You are welcome.
I like the segue. Hard cut into the Out-of-Town Scoreboard. One out. Here's Alejandro Kirk. 4-2 Rays, bottom 4, and the pitch is lifted to shallow center. This one a little more routine for Meisner. Jogs in, makes the catch, 2 outs.
Ben, I'm trying to get it in. I don't want St. Louis Bar and Grill to get upset with me.
You're being a good company, man. Let's go to the Out-of-Town Scoreboard. The Baltimore Orioles, man, they are having a tough time. They were shut out today by the Minnesota Twins. 4-0 the final score in that game. The Twins have won 11 in a row. Became the first team yesterday to win 10 in a row this season. Now up to 11 after the 4-0 win. Pitch to Addison Barger. Fouled off the mask of the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson. It's 0-1. Did see that Byron Buxton got involved in a collision in that game, and it looks like he had to be removed. So hopefully he's all right. He did come up with a homer in the Twins win. Next pitch to Barger, called a strike 0-2. Other finals today, the Reds beating the White Sox 7-1 in Cincinnati, and the Braves are at 500 now, 22-22 after a 5-2 win over the Nationals. Most teams off. The Blue Jays the only team in action right now against the Rays. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Couple games are coming up later. It's rivalry weekend coming up in Major League Baseball. It's a new thing for the majors. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a pop-up third base side. Long run Caminero into foul territory on the side warning track, and a two-handed snow cone catch to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Zach Littell in the frame, including a fantastic catch-up against the wall by Cameron Meisner. 4-2 Rays after 4. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Multicultural, international, undeniable. Your connection to the sounds from the East. Hear the voices of a global phenomenon on SiriusXM K-pop. How you like that? Or explore trending hits by Asian talents from around the world on Horizon. Listen to these and more anytime at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, or other internet-connected devices.
Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you win your fantasy leagues right now on Channel 87.
Say goodbye, home run Aaron Judge.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is here to help you dominate.
Don't ever take a player that you don't intend to keep all year. Don't do it. It's terrible management.
Fantasy Sports Radio, your home for fantasy sports. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
PGA Championship moments on SiriusXM.
At the 2024 PGA Championship at Valhalla, Xander Schauffele's opening round 62 tied a major championship record, and he never looked back.
Xander Schauffele, the winner of the 106th PGA Championship.
Colin Morikawa and Bryson DeChambeau made furious charges, but Xander secured his first major win 2 months before claiming his second. Listen to PGA Championship Radio all week long on Channel 92 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
From in-season fantasy baseball management to helping you prepare for your fantasy football drafts, Fantasy Sports Radio is helping you dominate. Channel 87 and on the SiriusXM app.
Fifth inning in downtown Toronto, the Blue Jays and the Rays in a rubber match. Game 3 of the series, 4-2, Tampa Bay leads. Kevin Gausman back out on the hill, and his pitch to Danny Jansen. Check swing, called strike, 0-1. Welcome to the Timber Mart broadcast booth. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. Wanted to get a little bit more into rivalry weekend with you, Chris, if you're open to it. You seem unimpressed. Here's the 0-1 pitch from Gausman to Jansen. Swinging a grounder, hit hard, foul, 0-2.
I'm not unimpressed. I just don't like manufactured rivalries.
Okay. Well, I would say, we'll get into rivalry weekend in a sec, but I would say that most of these are
real?
going to be very fun series.
Okay.
Right on right, the 0-2 to Danny Jansen. Outside ball 1. So we'll go back to the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard because these are a lot of out-of-town games. Rivalry weekend does start tonight. There's one series of rivalry weekend beginning when Houston and Texas link up at 8 Eastern.
You see that pitching matchup, by the way?
1-2 pitch outside, 2-2. That's why I bring it up.
Holy cow.
Hunter Brown, Jacob deGrom, two of the best in the game right now, going up against each other. That's going to be a great game. That one again, 8 Eastern in Texas. 2-2. Popped up. Back is shortstop Bo Bichette, waving around his right arm on the left field turf, makes the catch. 1 out. I should say in Arlington, because both those teams are in Texas, in Arlington. But here's some of the series for rivalry weekend. They wanted to get a lot of especially geographically based rivals against each other at the same time. So Astros Rangers, you have the Subway Series, Mets Yankees, Angels Dodgers. You have the two teams from Ohio, the Guardians and the Reds. They're going to play not a huge rivalry, but you can see why they do it. First pitch to Josh Lowe, called a strike, 4-2 Rays, 1 out, top of the 5th.
I do disagree with Angels Dodgers. Shouldn't it be Dodgers Giants?
They went geographical.
That's true, I guess.
The 0-1. Low 1-1. And because of that, the Giants series is the A's. Now, it would have been even closer had the A's not left Oakland.
I like that series.
Oakland, San Francisco
I like that series.
Has been a big deal over the last while. Now it's Sacramento, San Francisco. The 1-1. Swing and a hard hit ball deep center field. Straw sprinting back at the wall. It's out of here. Third home run today. Josh Lowe goes deep for the first time this season. Third home run today for the Rays. It's 5-2 Tampa Bay, top of the 5th.
Josh Lowe absolutely hammered that baseball. 106 miles an hour off the bat. 408 feet to center field. Miles Straw did everything he could to try to catch that baseball. Just went over his glove.
It's a four-seam fastball. Kind of bottom middle of the zone, a little above the knees. He crushed that ball.
I mean, again, I'm sure the players will talk about the ball flying with the roof open, but that's just a very hittable pitch right down the middle, really, right?
It doesn't feel like any of these home runs have anything to do with the conditions. Pitch to Brandon Lau is sprayed foul to the left. It's 0-1. So 5-2 Rays. Some of the rivalry week series as we continue to look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. You have Cardinals-Royals, both Missouri-based teams. Twins and Brewers, Minnesota, Wisconsin, always a big rivalry in almost any sport. 0-1, swing and a miss, 0-2. White Sox and Cubs. Nationals and Orioles. You have the Maryland, D.C. rivalry there. You have Rays and Marlins, the two Florida teams, Pirates and Phillies.
What a rival.
I know, huge rivalry. Pirates and Phillies, the two Pennsylvania teams. There are a couple clunkier series mixed in. But I think you get a lot of really fun matchups, especially for the fans in the ballparks as the 0-2 misses down and away 1-2. To have a ballpark full of Pennsylvanians or full of Floridians or full of Californians. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Splitter outside. Swing and a miss by Lau, and there are 2 outs.
That last at bat, it almost seemed like Kevin Gausman was angry after that home run, pitching like he was on a mission. A really good split finger to finish off Brandon Lau there.
New baseball for Gausman before taking on Junior Caminero. The Blue Jays series in rivalry weekend is the Detroit Tigers, which is a close team geographically and historically a big rival of the Blue Jays. Pitch to Caminero, cut on and miss, strike 1.
What would be the most obvious rival of the Jays? The Phillies?
Well, so they had them natural rivals years ago, and they used to play each other every year in interleague play. But is there really a rivalry there beyond they played in one World Series 30 years ago? 0-1 pitch is high, 1-1. I mean, ideally, it's the Montreal Expos. Unfortunately, that can't happen. You can't really say the Yankees or the Red Sox. They both would say each other. It's not really the Orioles. It's not really the Rays. 1-1. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Well, the Rays have the Marlins.
They do, yeah. And the Orioles have the Nats.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I was talking about when I was saying manufactured.
I do think Detroit makes sense. I mean, for both those fan bases, you're going to see a lot of away fan travel when those series take place. There is a history when they were in the same division for all those years. You know, there are many Blue Jays fans who I think still get sour taste in their mouth thinking about 1987. 1-2 pitch lined by Caminero, and that'll go down in left field, a base hit. So runner on first here for the Rays. 5-2 Tampa Bay, 2 outs, top of the 5th.
Unfortunately, the Tigers are very good this year.
Yeah, good for their fans. You want to hear my worst matchups of rivalry weekend?
Is it the two worst teams, or is it just the
this
most
isn't a rivalry and what?
Right. Okay, all right.
And these teams were clearly left over. Easy one. Braves, Red Sox. That's not a rivalry.
No, not even close.
Not even close. Padres, Mariners. First pitch to Jonathan Aranda. This is low. Ball 1.
Both West Coast. You can make that argument, I guess.
Sure. That's it. Those are the worst two.
Yeah.
And, you know, Rockies D-backs not really a rivalry, but they are in the same division.
I was about to say, who are the Diamondbacks playing?
1-0 pitch. Swing and a miss, 1-1. They're at least in the same division, so I wouldn't put them in the category of the others. But those are maybe the 3 clunkier ones, but not everyone has an exact clear rivalry or geographical rivalry. 1-1. Lifted to the left field corner. That one's fading. It's going to go into the seats foul. 1-2. But yeah, rivalry weekend or rivalry week, whatever you want to call it, starting today on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out of town scoreboard with Houston visiting Texas at 8:05 Eastern. The Rays in Toronto right now, leading the Blue Jays 5-2. 2 outs, top of the 5th. And a run asks for time, an emphatic time call from Adrian Johnson, the home plate umpire. Aranda with a quarter swing now steps back in. Black bat for the left-handed hitter. Stretches out his arms as he brings the bat around in a full circle, shimmies his shoulders, and now rests the bat on that left shoulder. 1-2. Fastball. Caught him looking, strike 3. 98 at the knees. Kevin Gausman strands a runner on first to end the top of the 5th, but Another solo shot for the Rays. Josh Lowe leaves the yard. It's 5-2 Tampa Bay, middle of the fifth. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Find out who will lift the FA Cup trophy this weekend on SiriusXM FC. Crystal Palace are 90 minutes away from their first FA Cup title.
Eze into the area, right-footed shot, slams it in!
In their path is a dangerous Manchester City side, keen on salvaging their season.
Oh, Kevin De Bruyne, that is simply sensational.
It's the FA Cup final, Palace versus City, Saturday at 11:30 Eastern on SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and on the SiriusXM app.
The Football Talk.
Hey, you! Yeah, you! Joe Bowen here, voice of the Leafs. Holy Mackinac, we've passed 100,000 insiders on Toronto Sports Insider. The Playoff Pulse campaign is unstoppable. Your support means 100% of Leafs playoff stream revenue keeps helping sick kids with life-saving care. Let's aim even higher. Subscribe now and join this amazing community making a difference. Together, we're showing sick kids the power of sports fans worldwide. Let's keep growing this global community.
Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
Well said, Mitch.
It's Mike.
The Blue Jays are in flight, leading 3-0.
Blue Jays fans, this is Ross Atkins, and you're listening to Blue Jays Baseball on SiriusXM.
90 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Ernie Clement fouls the ball back into the netting, and we're underway in the fifth inning, bottom of the fifth. 5-2 for the Rays over the Blue Jays. Blue Jays baseball is presented by Crown Rust Protection. 2 solo homers for Toronto today. 0-1. Grounded foul, 0-2. Blue Jays now send the bottom third of the order up against righty Zach Littell. Ernie Clement, Miles Straw, and Nathan Lucas will hit this inning for Toronto. Right-handed hitting Clement leans slightly over the plate. The 0-2. Swing and a pop-up, right side of the diamond. First baseman Aranda turns his body toward the first base dugout and makes the catch, shielding himself from the sun. There's one out.
Zach Littell has thrown just 53 pitches in this ballgame. 1 out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. He's been really efficient.
He's been sharp, except for his 2 big misses. Both misses have been punished. Other than that, he's looked really good. With 1 out, he'll face Miles Straw, who he induced a pop-up from in the second inning. The pitch. Outside, ball 1. This fifth inning is brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Right on right, the 1-0. Called a strike. This is just another find for the Rays. Littell, not a high draft pick, was picked in the 11th round by Seattle at a high school in 2013. 1-1 is outside, 2-1. He was a starter in the minors, but he was traded a couple times to the Yankees at one point, to Minnesota at the 2017 deadline. It's when Jaime Garcia went the other way. 2-1 pitch on the corner. It's 2-2. But broke through at 22 years old as a reliever with the Twins. Part of their pen for a little bit. Pitched in the Giants' pen. Very brief stint as a Red Sox. 2-2. Hit on the ground at third. A stop there by Caminero, but he's just going to put it in his pocket. Had to race over to the foul line to bring it in. It's actually a really nice play by the rookie. It's a single for Straw, but it would have been extra bases if he didn't snare that baseball.
Yeah, and that's a huge play in this ball game because there's 1 out in this inning, and you keep Miles Straw at first base. If that ball gets by Caminero, that's a double. He's at second base with less than 2 outs. A much better chance of scoring in this inning.
Maybe Straw, though, will try to take second himself. He does have 2 stolen bases this year. The pitch to Nathan Lucas. Looked high, called a strike, 0-1. Third baseman Caminero plays in. Everyone else back and shifted to the pull side. Shortstop Taylor Walls almost straight up the middle. 0-1. Bounced up the middle right at Walls. He fields, steps on second, throws to first, double play, and that's it for the inning. No runs on a hit, nobody left for the Blue Jays after 5 innings. 5-2 Tampa Bay. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Which Looney Dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your Looney Dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which Looney Dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
Guess who just bundled their home and auto with Desjardins Insurance?
Well, look at you, all grown up and saving money.
Yes, I am.
Mom told you to do it, didn't she?
Yes, she did.
Get insurance that's really big on care. Switch and you could save up to 35% on home insurance when you bundle home and auto. Desjardins Insurance. Here for your home, auto, life, and business needs. Certain conditions apply.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Way back, and Jimenez has done it again.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Top of the 6th, Blue Jays trailing the Rays 5-2 at Rogers Center, with the sun still covering at least half of the field and all of the infield. Kevin Gausman's back on the mound. His pitch to Cameron Meisner. Called strike. The 6th inning brought to you by Desjardins Insurance. Get insurance that's really big on care at Desjardins.com/care today. Number 5 hitter in the Rays order, Meisner, putting together a great day. 0-1. Low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Came up with a sliding catch to take a hit away from Alejandro Kirk in the 2nd. Had a leaping catch at the wall in the 4th to take away extra bases from George Springer, and he's homered. Faces a 1-1 and takes it for a ball. 2 balls, 1 strike.
He kind of looks like Cody Bellinger in that batter's box, doesn't he? With that straight up, tall, left-handed stance up there.
6'4", 220. Cameron Meisner. The 2-1. Swinging a bouncer to third. Vacuumed up Addison Barger. Throws on to first for the out. Good reflexes. Barger was playing in, and luckily for him, it got hit almost right at him.
Yeah, perfect position, too. Pretty good scouting report on Meisner. Addison Barger was playing kind of in the hole there on the left side of the infield. And like you said, right at him. Good reflexes and a perfect throw across the diamond.
Credit for the positioning can go to Carlos Fabulous, who deals with the infielders, as well as being the third base coach for the Blue Jays. I believe DeMarlo Hale would have a hand in that as well. Pitch to Jose Caballero. Called a strike, 0-1. Take a look at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Nothing to update in terms of Major League Baseball scores right now, but we'll recap in case you didn't hear earlier. 0-1. Foul tipped, 0-2. Orioles fell 4-0 to the Minnesota Twins today as the Twins sweep to win their 11th in a row. Chris Paddock was fantastic in the start, giving up only 3 hits, 1 walk, and no runs in 7 innings for the Twins. Tomoyuki Sugano, who has been the best starter for the Orioles, didn't have his best day. He pitched into the 7th, but he gave up 4 runs in 6 1/3. 0-2. Fouled back behind home plate. Still no balls, 2 strikes. It's kind of a shocking start for Baltimore. Probably would have been my pick to win the division before the year. I think it would have been a lot of people's pick to at least have a good chance. 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Not mine, Ben. I picked the Toronto Blue Jays.
There you go. Congratulations.
I'm just joking. I probably picked the Orioles.
Look, you needed to get the people on the side after your Canadians comments yesterday.
You realize this is a national broadcast,
I
right?
do. I know. They hate the Leafs more. 1 out and the 1-2. Hit high in the air, deep right center. Santander sprinting back. So is Straw, and a dive on the warning track, but it gets down past Santander. Up to second, standing goes Jose Caballero. He's got a double with 1 out in the inning.
Well, that ball was perfectly placed. I thought that Santander had a beat on it. That ball stayed up in the air quite a long time, but it was just out of the reach of his glove as he dove into that gap in right center. Caballero ends up at second base.
Landed at the angle of the wall in front of the Tim Horton sign, kind of just past the right field bullpen, where the wall starts to get higher and higher towards straightaway center. Caballero, his second hit today and a 6th double of the season. Gausman staring at him as he kicks and deals to Taylor Walls. High ball 1. Well, if we are checking the St. Louis Bar and Grill Out of Town scoreboard, a congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers, who moved on to the Western Conference Final with their overtime win. 1-0. Fouled away, hit off Alejandro Kirk, whose head sags down for a moment. 1 ball, 1 strike. It's a goal from former Toronto Maple Leaf Kasperi Kapanen in overtime. He's got a bit of a flair for the dramatic, and that was certainly a dramatic goal as they eliminate the Vegas Golden Knights to move on and play the winner of the Stars and the Jets. Game 5 in that series, if I'm not mistaken, goes tonight, with the Stars holding a 3-1 series lead. Gausman's 1-1. Hit on the ground to second base. 2 hops and into the glove of Ernie Clement, who throws over to first for the second out. Jose Caballero advances to third base. Action in the Blue Jay pen. The left-hander Mason Fluharty is up and throwing. But Kevin Gausman trying to get through a 6th inning. It has not been his sharpest day, but he would still do a lot for the Blue Jays to at least get through 6. He's thrown 97 pitches. It's 5-2 Rays, 2 outs and a runner on third. Pitch to Chandler Simpson. Swinging a pop-up over the netting left side, over the third base dugout, and into the seats. 0-1.
The interesting thing about this start for Kevin Gausman is his stuff has been very, very good. This is some of the best stuff we've seen from him this season. It's just the location, the command has been a little bit off, leaving some pitches over the middle of the plate, and that's where the Rays have done their damage.
0-1. Popped up foul again to the left and out of play to make it 0-2.
That last fastball was 96 miles an hour. I mean, he's thrown a fastball today at 99 miles an hour, so that arm's feeling really good. Luckily, that hip is feeling really good, too.
Gausman took a line drive off of himself in the third inning. Stayed in the game, his 0-2. Sprayed foul to the left to get into the seats, and if you decided to buy a ticket down the left field line today, you got a good chance of getting a souvenir. Simpson is just dumping balls over to the fence.
100 pitches now in the ball game, 75 strikes, 25 balls for Kevin Gausman. That's a pretty good ratio.
5-2 Rays, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Runner on third, and another 0-2 is line to center. Charging in Straw, pulls up, it's down in front of him, a base hit. Jogging home to score is Jose Caballero. RBI single, Chandler Simpson. Rays up 6-2.
Here comes John Schneider. That's the end of the day for Kevin Gausman, but just a really tough approach for Chandler Simpson. Gets the barrel to that ball and dumps it in front of Miles Straw for a big run in this ball game.
Clap of the hands from Schneider. He takes the baseball. It's a pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. 6-2, the Rays lead. Runner on first, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We'll start with hockey and the Stanley Cup playoffs, as you often have in the last couple of weeks. Second round well underway, actually starting to wrap up. Last night we had 2 games. The Leafs getting absolutely pumped by the Panthers in Toronto, no less. They lose 6-1. They go down 3-2 in the series. Game 6 will be tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. It'll be right here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and across the network. We did have another Canadian team move on last night. The Oilers became the first team to punch their ticket to the conference finals with a 1-0 win over the Golden Knights. Kasperi Kapanen scoring for the Oilers. They will take on the winner of Stars-Jets. Speaking of which, we have Game 5 of Stars-Jets as the late game tonight. Dallas can move on with a win in Winnipeg this evening. Puck drop of this game will go just after 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. You can watch it on Sportsnet and the CBC. Earlier in the evening, in about 2.5 hours, we'll get another elimination game. The Hurricanes will take on the Capitals in Washington. A win will send Carolina to the conference finals. Puck drop will go 7 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. In PWHL playoff action, Montreal getting blanked by Ottawa in a 1-0 win in Game 3. Ottawa taking a 2-1 series lead in the best-of-5 series. Game 4 will go Friday evening. That's 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. And last night, the Toronto Scepters eliminated by the Minnesota Frost in OT. They lose 4-3. The Frost off to defend their Walter Cup title in the final. The Scepters are done for the year, so not the greatest night for Toronto hockey fans. Blue Jays baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back down to the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Mason Fluharty on the hill for the Blue Jays. The left-hander appears in his 17th game of his major league career, 2.16 ERA. He faces Danny Jansen, and the pitch. Foul tipped on a check swing, strike 1. Chandler Simpson on first, a big stolen base threat, 6-2 Rays, 2 outs, top of the 6th. Mason Fluharty had nearly gone 30 at-bats against righties without allowing a hit, until Danny Jansen homered off of him 2 days ago. 0-1 to Jansen. No, it's a step and throw to first. And a dive back in safely by Simpson. Simpson with a big lead off first. Not worried about the lefty on the hill. The 0-1. Swinging a deep drive, left field corner, racing back Lucas. It's down, and he fields it on a hop. Simpson loses his helmet, going to third. Good throw by Lucas into second. Holds Jansen to a long single. It's runners on the corners. 2 outs.
How about Danny Jansen again getting to Mason Fluharty, getting that barrel to the baseball, ripping it into that left field corner. Nathan Lucas, like you said, a good job cutting that baseball off. And if he doesn't cut that off, Chandler Simpson is almost certainly scoring from first base. A ton of speed out there, but also keeping Danny Jansen at first.
Chance to keep it at 6-2. Simpson on third is Gosman's runner. On first, Jansen is Fluharty's runner. And now the pitch to Josh Lowe, left on left. Swinging a fly ball out to right. Santander started back. Now he'll freeze, camped under it. He makes the catch to end the inning. The Rays add on a run after Caballero's double. An RBI single from Chandler Simpson. A run on 3 hits. 2 left for Tampa Bay and a 6-2 lead. Middle of the 6th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
There's a world where New Wave rolls. First Wave, where 80s era alternative and cult classics play 24/7. Get your New Wave fix on First Wave. Channel 33, or listen at home with SiriusXM on your phone, computer, Alexa, TV, and other internet-connected devices and speakers.
This is John Paul Morosi. On the SiriusXM original podcast, The Road to Cooperstown, I sit down with Hall of Famer Mike Schmidt.
I spent all my time trying to be the best that I could be in front of the Philly fans. So there you might say Philly fans helped drive me.
The Road to Cooperstown airs Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Sirius XM 89, and the Sirius XM app. New episodes drop every Tuesday wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game. And when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken. Don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home. And it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
In season or out of season, the number one place for college sports is SiriusXM College Sports Radio, Channel 84.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom six, top of the order for the Blue Jays. Bo Bichette leading off. Zach Littell's pitch called a strike, 0-1. 6-2, the Rays lead. And if the Blue Jays are going to get something going, it feels like it's got to start right now. Top of the order up, third time through. Littell rocks, offers, and Bichette hits it on the ground through the whole left side. A bouncing base hit into left field. 2-hit day for Bo Bichette.
That's a good start. If you're going to chip away at this 4-run lead that the Rays have, that's a good start to that inning. Not hit all that hard, but found the hole. Just a bouncing ball through that left side.
Welcome to the Timberline broadcast booth. He's former Major League pitcher Chris LaRue. I'm Ben Schulman. Nobody out. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. up. He's got a home run and a walk today. First pitch in there, strike one. Vladdy caught a hanging slider in the third, lined it out to left field. A 383-foot blast, his fifth of the year. 0-1. Up and in. Slider hung but stayed up. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Another reason why this is a good time for the Jays to get a couple of runs here is because that shadow just behind the pitcher is about to get tough on hitters.
1-1. Inside 2-1.
Probably about 5 or 10 minutes from that shadow getting to the pitcher.
As the sun is starting to set, all of the left side of the field, except for mound to home, is shade right now. Center field covered in shade as well. 2-1. Called strike, 2-2. The only places still with sun really are shallow right field, sun deeper and right towards the corner. First base is in the sunlight, and then again between the mound and home, the entire infield still in sun. 2-2 is popped up shallow right. Long run, Brandon Lau sprinting in Caballero. Lau makes the catch underhanded. A tough play with Caballero playing deep. Lau was the only one who could get to it. 1 out.
And that's another split finger from Zach Littell. It's his second most used pitch. He uses that thing 25% of the time, but I personally think that's his best pitch. A lot of movement. He has a pretty good command of that pitch, pretty good feel for it. And you could tell that Vlad was uncomfortable swinging that bat there.
Littell in the shade looks to Anthony Santander at the plate in full sunlight. The pitch. High, ball 1. It's one thing that's helped Zach Littell become a solid starter after a career as a reliever before that. In 2023, first time around with the Rays, he really only threw the splitter to left-handed hitters. Now he uses it both sides. 1-0. Called strike, 1-1. I remember talking to Buck Martinez about this during the Houston series, and he had said, if you have a good pitch, why would you limit yourself to only throwing it to one side? It's probably good against all hitters. 1-1. Fouled back, headed our way. Bounces off the front of our booth and lands into the seats, into the front row 200 level. It's 1-2.
Ben, I saw you duck.
Well, that one was coming right at the face. And
the moneymaker.
I haven't brought the gloves yet. So 1-2 pitch, hooked on the ground, backhanded to Ronda. First baseman throws to second for 1. Throwback to first to Littell covering for a 3-6-1 inning-ending double play. We go to the 7th, 6-2 for the Rays. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ Home Hardware and Building Center locations, where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You could bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
That ball is gone. Third home run in 4 batters for the Blue Jays.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
It's the 7th inning, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. On a shaded mound, Mason Fluharty steps on. Second inning of work starts with a left-on-left matchup. Here's his pitch to Brandon Lau. High and inside, ball 1. Rays 6, Blue Jays 2. There hasn't been a big inning for Tampa Bay. They've scored in 5 of the 6 innings, including a 2-run first. 1-0. Swing and a miss. AL East matchup, obviously an important game. We'll go to the standings in a moment. First, the 1-1. Lined and off the glove of Bo Bichette, who leaped at short to try to bring it in. It's down in left center, a base hit.
Well, Brandon Lau actually broke his bat on that swing. A pretty good cutter down and away. It looked like Bo Bichette actually had a beat on it. Just tipped off his glove at the last second, but here comes John Schneider to get Mason Fluharty.
Wanted him in there for the left-on-left matchup, but now with Junior Caminero coming up, it looks like the Blue Jays are going to make a pitching change. So we'll get to the standings in just a little bit. Pitching change brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Braden Fisher is coming into the game. 6-2 Rays. Nobody out, runner on first. Let's go over to today's host. Here's Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's continue checking the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. Another reminder, we have 2 games on the NHL calendar tonight as the Stanley Cup playoffs continue. Both games, Hurricanes Capitals will go in Washington. A win will send Carolina to the Eastern Conference Finals. Puck drop there will go 7 Eastern, 5 Pacific on Sportsnet. Later on, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, we will have Game 5 of Stars Jets. Dallas can move on with a win in Winnipeg tonight. You can watch that game on Sportsnet and the CBC. Some non-playoff teams have made some moves as well. The Canucks hiring Adam Foote as their head coach. He was officially introduced to the media today. The Flyers hiring Rick Tocchet as their new bench boss, and the Kings hiring Ken Holland as VP and general manager. He was also introduced today. And speaking of Adam Foote in Vancouver, to discuss the hiring, Canucks president of hockey ops Jim Rutherford will join Dan Riccio and Sat Shaw on Canucks Central later today. That'll be at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. So be sure to join the guys. You can listen to them at sportsnet.ca/650 if you're listening online. And over in the NBA, the playoffs in full swing as well. The second round beginning to get into the elimination games. We already have the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight year. It's the first time they have reached the conference finals in consecutive years since 2013-2014. Blue Jays baseball brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Braden Fisher into the ballgame, warming up for the Blue Jays. Runner on first, nobody out. Top of the 7th, 6-2 for the Rays. For Braden Fisher, it'll be his 3rd major league appearance in an inning and 2/3 so far. He's given up only 1 hit, no walks, and he has struck out 1 batter. Second year in the organization, first year in the big leagues. For Braden Fisher, right-hander who kicks and offers to Junior Caminero. Called strike. First pitch was the slider from Fisher. He's got 2 breaking balls and a mid-90s fastball. The 1-1. Called a strike. And it's 1-2.
I've actually been pretty impressed with Braden Fisher. Didn't know much about him before he was called up, but he's got really good stuff. That mid to upper 90s fastball, and then he mixes in that really good slider. I like what I've seen from him so far.
Long look in the 1-2. Fouled away.
It also says he's 6'4", 180. There is no way he is 180 pounds. He's about 6'4", 220.
Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, he's...
No, it's a solid 220, but there's no way he's 180.
See, it says that online, but the Blue Jays roster says 235.
There you go.
1-2. Swing and a liner, right center field. Straw on the run, into a slide, makes the catch from his knees. Bit of an awkward play as he wasn't sure, Straw that is, if he should go all out into the slide or not, but he makes the play. 1 out. Don't think it was major news for the Blue Jays when they brought in Braden Fisher. It happened in the middle of the season, early middle portion of the season last year, which is not a time when people are typically looking out for moves. He was dealt over from the Dodgers. Pitch to Jonathan Aranda. Called strike, 0-1. And also maybe just because of the nature of the move. He was acquired in a trade from L.A. after the Blue Jays had DFA'd Kevin Biggio. They traded him to the Dodgers, got Fisher back. His 0-1. Hit back foul, 0-2. I just think generally people, when it's a DFA trade, they're not going to expect a big return back.
Right, they expect a nothing, essentially.
But Fisher, who has had his ups and downs in the minors, still a 24-year-old, drafted in the 4th round by the Dodgers in 2018. 0-2. Fouled back again. Good stuff. Drafted by an organization with a very good reputation for picking out young talent. And has mostly avoided major injury in his minor league career, which I think is a huge plus these days. 0-2. Popped up, foul over the netting, and into the seats, off to the left.
And he was pretty good in Buffalo this year. 1-0 with a 2.38 ERA, 9 ball games, 14 strikeouts in 11 1/3 innings. But like I said, it's more about the stuff for me. He's got electric stuff, a slider, a curveball, mid to upper 90s. I like it.
Has some experience closing in the minors as well. Had that role for a time in Double-A in 2023 with the Tulsa Drillers. Another 0-2. Fouled back again. Aranda doing everything he can to avoid a golden sombrero. He's punched out 3 times today in 3 tries.
We need to get that. We need to get that MLB website updated for Braden Fisher. 55-pound difference? Come on.
It's a big gap.
Come on.
0-2 again. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a chance. This happens a lot with minor leaguers. I saw this when I was working in the lower levels. You get your information inputted when you're drafted a lot of the time, and then it hardly ever changes. 1-2 again, hit foul. Aranda putting up a fight here with a runner on first and 1 out. 6-2 Rays, top of the 7th, and Aranda has seen 7 pitches. Fisher's thrown 11 overall. 10 of them have been strikes, 1 ball. Another 1-2. Swing and a miss. Finally, he gets him. 4th time that Aranda strikes out today. 2 down.
That was a pretty good slider up at the top of the strike zone. It looked more like a cutter to me. Just had a little bit of cut at the very end. But you get a good hitter like that to swing through that cutter, swing through that pitch there, and that tells you that you have good stuff.
He averages 89 on the slider. That was 92. 2 outs. His pitch to Cameron Meisner. High ball 1. Brandon Lau still on first after the leadoff single against Mason Fluharty. Blue Jays trailing the Rays 6-2. The pitch. Called strike.
Was it just me, or did that shadow move really quickly
It
from
did.
the pitcher's mound to home plate?
It did. It has to do a little bit with the buildings
that
hang over left field. 1-1. High, 2 balls, 1 strike.
I believe there's a couple of 80-story buildings being built next to the Rogers Center right now. I could be wrong, but that's
Reading
what I
a lot
heard.
of Architectural Digest.
No. That's what I heard this morning from somebody that actually works for the Rogers Center. Maybe they're wrong.
2-1. Down and in ball 3.
Can you imagine that elevator situation, though?
80 story. Well, we can see one of, if not the world's fastest elevators going down right now. The CN Tower. Headed down beyond the right field corner. 3-1 count. 2 outs. Runner on first. And the pitch. Check swing. Called strike. It was a curveball at the knees to make it a full count. Vladdy walking toward the mound. He's telling the pitcher, Braden Fisher, that he's no longer going to hold on Brandon Lau. He'll play behind the runner because Lau's going to be off on the pitch, and it's a left-handed hitter in Cameron Meisner. Three-two pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Braden Fisher retires all 3 batters he faces, including back-to-back strikeouts to end a top of the 7th inning with no runs allowed. 1 hit in the inning for the Rays off Fluharty to start the frame. They leave Lau on first. It's 6-2 Tampa Bay at the 7th inning stretch. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL 3-topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
It's time to kickstart spring at TSC. Discover top brands to live it up outdoors. Shop gardening tools, patio lights, furniture, and more. And split purchases into 6 interest-free easy pay payments. We got what you need to get your green thumbs going. Light up your nights. Have some fun. Go on a camping adventure with Coleman. Crank up your playlist with Bose. And show everyone why you're the grill master with Weber. Make the most of spring. Shop now at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day.
Hey, this is Bo Bichette. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Scary, spooky, hilarious, crazy, scary, spooky.
A ball on the field in right field right now. They're trying to get it off as we get going for the bottom of the 7th inning. Jose Caballero raced over to get a ball that had dropped on, threw it up to the fan. The fan whiffed on the catch. It fell back on the field, but he throws it up a second time. And now we're ready to go. Welcome back to a sunny Rogers Center in downtown Toronto. 6-2 Rays, bottom 7. And the first pitch of the inning, Zach Littell to George Springer. Hit on the ground is short. Backhanded Walls throws to first. And there's one out.
Zach Littell just threw his 72nd pitch of the ball game. We're in the 7th inning with one out. Very efficient so far in this ball game. Pretty impressive.
And because of the cushion now that the Rays have built, you can start to dream about a complete game if you're Kevin Cash, Zach Littell, or any of the Rays. A feat that Littell has never completed in his career. His pitch to Alejandro Kirk. Called a strike. Meant to get to them in the top half. We'll get to the standings in a moment in this bottom of the 7th. One out, Kirk hitting with nobody aboard. The pitch. Swing and a liner out to left, hit right at Chandler Simpson, 2 down. Standings are brought to you by Bet365. With Bet365, you can watch thousands of live games, build your own bet, and you can even make a bet while the game is still being played. 19 plus, play responsibly. Ontario only. Yankees lead the division 25-18. The Blue Jays in second, 21-21. Red Sox are third, 22-23, with the Rays in fourth, 19-23. Orioles at 15-27 in fifth. Addison Barger steps up, takes outside, ball 1. Blue Jays are attempting to go over 500 today for the first time since they were 12-11, sitting at 21-21 now. 1-0 cut on and missed, 1-1. But they're going to need a big comeback to do it, trailing 6-2, 2 outs, bases empty, bottom 7. Littell's 1-1. Swing and a miss. Barger tried to hold up on a pitch high but couldn't, 1-2. As Barger asks for time, our attention goes to left field for a sec. Jose Urena is getting loose right now in the Blue Jay bullpen. The 1-2. Chopped on the ground up the middle, a base hit, bouncing into center field. Second knock of the day for Addison Barger. He homered in the second. He's got a single in the 7th.
Well, Addison Barger on the previous pitch swung and missed on a fastball up. They tried to sneak that fastball again by him, but Addison Barger does a good job fighting off that tough fastball up and away and just sneaking it through that hole up the middle.
A very controlled swing.
Pretty good day for him, too.
Barger leading off first. Ernie Clement is up, the pitch. Downstairs, ball 1. Chad Green is also up for the Blue Jays. You'd think if Toronto gets a little closer in this game, maybe they go to Green, trailing by 4, probably Urena. Swing and a high drive by Ernie Clement. Left field, backing up Simpson just in front of the track, makes the catch to end the inning. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left for the Blue Jays. After 7 innings, the Rays in front, 6-2. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The drama builds. Baseball's in full swing. This ball's gone! Hear every MLB game on SiriusXM.
And they'll be talking about this one for a long, long time.
Listen to your favorite team all season long with your hometown announcers on the SiriusXM app.
A breathtaking home run by Aaron Judge.
For a complete MLB schedule, go to SiriusXM.com/sports.
What a night!
Every night after the final out, the Round Trip Roundup brings you the scores, highlights, and analysis from every game across Major League Baseball, all in less than 30 minutes.
Swung on and missed, strike 3 and a no-hitter.
It's the perfect way to get caught up on all the night's biggest home runs and best performances.
And a high drive, deep right center.
It's the Round Trip Roundup on MLB Network Radio, every night on SiriusXM Channel 89 and every morning on the SiriusXM app.
Wake up! Wake up, everybody! This is Steve Phillips from the leadoff spot on MLB Network Radio. Join me and former Major League Baseball players Eduardo Perez and Xavier Scruggs as we react to all the latest news and scores across baseball and have plenty of fun along the way.
Steve, you were so right about that.
I don't know if anybody else thinks we're funny, but I think we're funny.
Why are you putting us or we into this?
The leadoff spot, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
You want baseball? The doggy has you covered. Tune in to Mad Dog
Dog Unleashed for the best baseball coverage anywhere. Weekdays 3 to 6 Eastern. Sirius XM Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82.
Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. 8th inning in Toronto. 6-2. The Rays lead the Blue Jays in the rubber match of this 3-game series. Braden Fisher's pitch is taken by Jose Caballero. Strike one on the inner third. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue, Show Ali, our host and producer, Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors. Next pitch, just outside. Kirk held it there for a second trying to get the call. 1 ball, 1 strike. Third major league appearance for Braden Fisher, called up about a week ago. 1-1. Rolled over foul, 1-2. Fisher got called up, but then had to wait a while. He was with the Blue Jays through the Angels series, didn't pitch. Made his debut in Seattle. He told me while he maybe got a little antsy, it was actually a good thing for him to not get in right away. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Had Caballero out in front on the slider. Third strikeout in a row for Fisher.
Yeah, and a wild swing from Caballero. Caballero 2 for 3 before this at bat in the ball game, seeing the ball well, and Braden Fisher just slips in that pretty good slider. Almost right down the middle, but he gets him way out in front.
1 out, and the pitch to Taylor Walls. Curveball for a strike. He said it was good to wait because he was able to get used to the other parts of being in the big leagues before he got into a game. The travel, being around the team. 1 pitch is high, 1-1. The routine of it all, and then he felt fairly comfortable. I mean, it was only 4 days, but fairly comfortable being around the big leagues as he got into a game. Plus, they got him a nice lead for his debut, a 9-1 cushion. 1-1. Hit in the air, left field, charging in and toward the line. Lucas curls now toward the foul line to make the catch. 2 down.
I don't disagree with that. I think that happens to a lot of relievers when you get called up. You don't know when you're going to pitch. I'm sure John Schneider wanted to get him in a ball game. You don't want that guy sitting down there kind of getting nervous. I feel like every single day you just sit down there, you get more and more nervous. Good for him.
2 outs, pitch to Chandler Simpson, called a strike, 0-1. Sweet spot is probably somewhere in the middle of Fisher waiting 4 days and Paxton Schultz driving to Toronto the morning of his debut and then pitching in like the second or third inning that day. 0-1 pitch in the dirt, 1-1. There's probably a happy medium.
That was crazy. Maybe the happy medium is let's say 24 hours.
Sure. Know the names of all your teammates before you pitch in a game. The 1-1. Called a strike. Curveball on the outside edge. 1-2. 5 in a row retired by Braden Fisher, the rookie. 6-2 Rays, bases empty, 2 outs, top of the 8th. His 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Doubled up on the curve. 4 strikeouts in 6 batters for Fisher. And he's trying to keep the Blue Jays in this one. They're trailing 6-2. Middle of the 8th. Straw Lucas Bichette hitting in the bottom half. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Timber Mart, locally owned, proudly Canadian. Your home team advantage with the right materials and the right price. Project know-how that's brought together a wealth of plans and solid advice. Trust your team at your locally owned Timber Mart. Timber Mart always has plans to help you with your plans. Your home, your cottage, your garage, whatever needs your attention first, check the most visited spot on our website for ready-to-order plans to get the job done with Canada's Building Centre. Visit timbermart.ca.
Which loony dogger are you? Do you approach Tuesdays with swagger and style? You could be a Rizzy Glizzy. Maybe you're an architect stacking your loony dogs up high. Do you walk into the ballpark with the confidence of an MVD? Then you're the most valuable dogger. This season at Rogers Center, every Tuesday home game is Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. No matter which loony dogger you are, you'll have the opportunity to purchase $1 hot dogs from various concession stands around the ballpark. Looney Dogs Night, presented by Schneider's. Every Tuesday home game. For tickets, visit BlueJays.com.
It's time to kickstart spring at TSC. Discover top brands to live it up outdoors. Shop gardening tools, patio lights, furniture, and more. And split purchases into 6 interest-free easy pay payments. We got what you need to get your green thumbs going. Light up your nights. Have some fun. Go on a camping adventure with Coleman. Crank up your playlist with Bose. And show everyone why you're the grill master with Weber. Make the most of spring. Shop now at tsc.ca. Exciting offers every day.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Middle in fastball, but he puts it by Cruz. 2 down.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Bottom 8, Blue Jays trailing the Rays 6-2, and the pitch to Miles Straw is smoked right center field. Going back Caballero, so is Meisner. Meisner, the center fielder, with a little bunny hop on the track to make the catch. Loud contact, but 1 pitch and 1 out in this 8th inning for Zach Littell.
Have yourself a day, Cameron Meisner. A couple of nice plays out there in center field. Pretty good day at the plate.
Had the solo homer in the 4th inning. Rays with 3 home runs today. Blue Jays with 2. It's 6-2 Tampa Bay. 1 out, bottom 8. Littell to Nathan Lucas. Called strike. Quick peek back at the St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. If you didn't hear the scores earlier, 4-0 Twins over the Orioles today. 7-1 Reds over the White Sox. 5-2 Braves beat the Nats. A 1 pitch fouled back by Lucas. 0-2. Our out-of-town scores, as always, brought to you by St. Louis Bar and Grill. Most of the teams are off today. Rivalry weekend about to start. Coming up Friday. First game is tonight. Houston and Texas at 8:05 Eastern. 0-2. High, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
What would be your favorite rivalry in baseball?
Dodgers-Giants is a good one. You know what? I'll say Cubs-Cardinals. I think that's a sneaky, great rivalry. 1-2 is high and outside. 2-2. It's not that sneaky. I mean, it's quite historic. But so much attention on Dodgers-Giants. So much attention on Yankees-Red Sox. I think Cubs-Cardinals can get as nasty as any of those. 2-2. Swing and a high fly ball. Right field. Racing back Caballero. Turns around. See you later. Solo home run for Nathan Lucas, his 3rd of the season, 3rd Blue Jays home run today, and they're fighting to stay in it. It's 6-3 for the Rays in the bottom of the 8th.
Well, how about Nathan Lucas slowly starting to see that ball better, slowly starting to take better swings. That's a good swing right there. Hammers that baseball into the Rays bullpen in right field. Put that jacket on.
He has woken up that Rays bullpen by hitting the ball into it. Zach Littell at 86 pitches now. Looked like he was going to have a bid for a complete game. I'm not so sure anymore with this game closer. And the Blue Jays bringing the top of the order back up. Kyle Snyder's going to go out to the mound for a moment, the pitching coach. So we can remind you that this copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership or the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The ironic thing about those, the 2 best rivalries in baseball, the Giants, Dodgers, Red Sox, Yankees, they're not even playing each other on rivalry weekend.
No, they had to set up the Red Sox with the Braves. They needed that rivalry. Subway Series is a great rivalry.
Yeah,
as
that's
well.
a good
Yankees
rivalry.
Mets. Rivalry weekend, an interleague heavy mix of series. 1 out pitch to Bo Bichette. Swing and a high fly ball, left center, going back Simpson. That ball's down in the gap, bouncing onto the track. Off the glove is Simpson. Bichette will stop at second, not pushing his luck. He's got a double, his 3rd hit today, and his 14th double of the year.
And down three runs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bo Bichette made a good decision not trying to push that into a triple. Just stays at second base for a double with 1 out now in scoring position. That's a big run standing at second base.
6-3 for the Rays. Blue Jays just scored for the first time since the 3rd inning. Danny Jansen is going to walk out to the mound again. He just went out there. So did the pitching coach, and I think they're just buying time. I wouldn't be shocked if Kevin Cash, mid-meeting, comes out of the dugout. Cash, the former Blue Jay, sipping on some water near the top steps. And he will come out of that dugout and make a pitching change. Brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays. Locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Zach Littell's day is done. He pitches into the 8th, but gives up a pair of extra base hits to end his day, and the Blue Jays are in it. 6-3 race, runner on second, one out. Before Vladimir Guerrero Jr. hits, let's go over to today's host, Show Ali.
Thanks very much, guys. Let's check in on that St. Louis Bar and Grill out-of-town scoreboard. We've been checking all sports, so let's continue checking the NBA, where the playoffs are in full swing. The second round beginning to get into those elimination games, and we already have the Pacers in the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight year. The first time they've reached the conference finals in consecutive years since 2013-2014. We also had Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves sending the Warriors packing. So Minnesota off to the Western Conference Finals for the second straight year as well. They'll take on the winner of Thunder Nuggets. And speaking of which, OKC will be in Denver tonight for Game 6 to take on those Nuggets. Tip-off goes tonight just after 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 Pacific. OKC wins. They will move on to play Minnesota. Otherwise, Game 7 will go in OKC in a few nights' time. Elsewhere, the Boston Celtics managing to avoid elimination last night with a 127-102 win over the Knicks in Game 5. They still trail New York 3-2 in that series. Game 6 will go at Madison Square Garden Friday night, so tomorrow. Tip-off will be just after 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. And some non-playoff teams in the NHL making some moves. We heard the Flyers hiring Rick Tocchet as their new bench boss. The Kings introducing Ken Holland as VP and general manager earlier today. The Canucks also introducing Adam Foote as their head coach. And speaking of Foote, to discuss that hiring, Canucks president of hockey ops Jim Rutherford will join Dan Riccio and Sat Shaw on Canucks Central later tonight. That'll be 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific on the West Coast. So be sure to join the guys. You can join them at sportsnet.ca/650 online. Blue Jays baseball is brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. Let's get you back to the action at the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue.
Thank you very much, Joe. Manuel Rodriguez is on the mound right now for the Rays, the right-hander from Mexico, making his second appearance of the series in a spot where the Blue Jays look to claw back into this game. 6-3 is the score in favor of the Rays. One run in this inning for Toronto, and with one out and Bichette on second, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. comes to the plate. Rodriguez offers inside. Vlad twisted away from a 98-mile-per-hour heater. Stumbles out of the box. It's 1-0.
That 98-mile-an-hour heater is a sinker, too. It has a ton of movement on it. Started in on the plate and then just ran right off the plate, almost hitting Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
The 1-0. Fastball at the knees, called a strike.
That fastball from Rodriguez is electric.
97 average on the sinker and four-seamer for the righty. Throws his slider just over half of the time. That pitch sits around 90. The 1-1. Check swing, pitch outside, appeal to first, no swing. It's 2-1. It is hard to imagine that this is the first year Rodriguez broke camp with a major league team. Came out of spring training on the major league roster for the Rays. The 2-1. Inside ball 3. A little bit scattered, missing inside and outside. Pretty big, pretty far off the plate so far. (3-1). Inside ball 4, 99, but he missed about 3 balls off the plate. Vladdy trots down to first, and the tying run steps up in the form of Anthony Santander.
It's a big at-bat for Anthony Santander. You can bet that Rodriguez wants to throw something in the strike zone now, trying to find that release point. A little bit wild in that at-bat to Vladimir Guerrero Jr., so Santander should be ready for something in the strike zone.
A look at second in the pitch. Swings and misses, strike 1.
He was ready for it.
Was he out in front of that 97-mile-per-hour fastball?
I think he was too ready for it.
Yeah. Went down to a knee as he foul tipped it into the glove. Bichette on second, Guerrero on first. 1 out, 6-3 Rays. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I'll tell you what, Rodriguez is max effort. He has given you 100%.
Former Cub, 3rd year with the Rays. 1-1. Swing and a deep drive, right field, and it's going to hook foul into the second deck. It had more than enough to get out, but again, he was out in front on 97.
Like I said, he's too ready for it, too amped up. Pretty good swing right there on a line out of here. Just a little bit foul.
The 1-2. Swinging bunt, rolls up the first baseline, picked up by the pitcher. He'll tag Santander. Both runners advance into scoring position. And now there are 2 outs. Vladdy at second, Bo at third. Again, he was too far out in front. That was a slider, but he got it, it seemed like off the top of the bat.
Well, I don't want to say he did his job, but at least he moved those runners up. And now with 2 outs in this inning, George Springer has the opportunity to just dump something out to the outfield and score both runs.
Springer 0 for 3 today. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back sliders from the hard-throwing right-hander, Manuel Rodriguez. He tucks the ball in his glove, belt high, and the pitch. Low with a 3rd straight slider, 1-1. A home run this inning from Nathan Lucas. Bichette with a double and then a walk from Vlad. It's 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. The 1-1. Inside, Springer jumps out of the way, 2 balls, 1 strike.
He's tried to come in at least 4 times this inning in this outing, and he's really come nowhere close to throwing a strike. That last pitch was well off the plate, almost hitting George Springer.
Two 2-1. Inside again, almost hit the ankle of Springer, who danced out of the way. 3 balls, 1 strike.
He's really struggling trying to throw that sinker in. But again, that sinker has so much movement, a lot like Brennan Little, where he just has a tough time throwing strikes with it.
Rodriguez rocks, offers. Springer hits it on the ground, foul near third. Bichette down to the seat of his pants, diving out of the way. It's a full count with 2 outs. Springer is the tying run, 6-3. The Rays lead, 2 on, 2 out, full count, bottom 8. Like Chris had mentioned earlier, even a single likely makes it a 1-run game. Homer would tie it. 3-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball, center field, playable for Meisner. Creeping back, he's just in front of the track, makes the catch with 1 hand to end the inning. The Blue Jays get 1 on 2 hits, but they strand 2 in scoring position. It's 6-3 as we head to the 9th. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Hip-hop mogul, music icon, now the center of a federal firestorm. P. Diddy on trial, and SiriusXM is your front row seat. Get raw, no-holds-barred updates straight from the courtroom with Page 6 Radio. Dive into legal analysis with Nancy Grace on Triumph. Hear unfiltered takes from Sam Roberts on Faction Talk. Then catch the buzz, the backlash, and the bold opinions on Radio Andy, and much more. Justice, power, celebrity, colliding in real time. Hear the latest wherever you are with the SiriusXM app. Just search Diddy Trial.
Baseball is back. It's former general manager Jim Duquette, and every Sunday on the front office, we have you covered on everything happening across Major League Baseball.
That's right, Duke. It's former big league GM Jim Bowden. Injuries, extensions, promotions, demotions, and trades. We'll have you covered on all the news.
We'll bring you the front office perspective as the season heats up.
Front office with Jim Duquette and Jim Bowden, Sundays at 10 a.m. Eastern on MLB Network Radio, Channel 89, and on the SiriusXM app.
No one brings you the passion of the beautiful game quite like SiriusXM FC.
Would you believe this?
Whether it's live matches from the EPL, MLS, the NWSL, or the UEFA Champions League.
This is sensational!
Or live talk shows featuring the sport's most entertaining experts.
You don't get to say, I don't feel like making that play right now. You make the play.
It's the world of soccer at your fingertips.
How mouth-watering is that?
SiriusXM FC, channel 157 in the car, and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
After the game, join us on MLB Network Radio. We're talking baseball with you all season long on SiriusXM Channel 89 and the SiriusXM app.
The Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays baseball. Top of the ninth inning and a pitching change for Toronto, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. After 2 strong innings out of the pen by Braden Fisher, Jose Urena will take over in the ninth inning. We've seen him start twice for the Blue Jays so far. This is his Blue Jays relief debut. Faces the number 9 hitter, Danny Jansen. And the pitch. Call to strike. Starts him off with the 96-mile-per-hour sinker. He lives mid-90s with the sinker and four-seamer. Throws a changeup more than anything. And also has a slider. Next pitch. Chopped on the ground, foul. Third base side, bouncing into the netting. It's 0-2. John Schneider did say a couple days ago that Urena was in play to come out of the bullpen if they needed him to. 0-2. Just high with a fastball, 1 ball and 2 strikes. This obviously could impact, though, starting pitching plans for the Blue Jays coming up. Saturday or Sunday is the day where they'll have to fill the Max Scherzer vacancy. The 1-2. Outside, 2-2. Last time they split it between Urena opening and mostly Eric Lauer coming in after. Maybe it just becomes a straight start for Lauer if you're using Urena out of the pen. 2-2. Popped up, middle of the infield. Ernie Clement coming in. Creeps onto the turf, makes the catch two-handed. 1 out.
I would venture to guess that's what's going to happen. Eric Lauer was really good in his last outing. Didn't start, but he came in after Urena, and he threw 4 2/3, just gave up 1 hit, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. And also, he's sitting in the dugout right now, so that tells me that he's probably going to start next game, or at least that next vacancy.
First pitch to Josh Lowe is lined to right field. That's down for a base hit. Cut off on 3 hops in the corner by Santander. He spins and throws it back into Bichette to keep Lowe to a single. But a nice return today off the injured list for Josh Lowe, his 3rd hit. Now, I will say, Jose Urena pitching today, for me, signals he's not going to start on the weekend in a traditional sense. Could he pitch the first inning as an opener? Definitely. That's basically like being a reliever. You're not being asked to throw that many pitches, but you'd figure Lauer gets the bulk. 1 out, 1 on. First pitch to Brandon Lau. Skips to the backstop, and moseying up to second base is Josh Lowe on what I believe will be called a pass ball.
Alejandro Kirk actually furious with himself right now that he didn't catch that baseball. He probably catches that 9 out of 10 times.
It was a missed spot across his body, but it just clipped off the glove, never hit the dirt. It was called a ball, too. It might have been a strike if it was reeled in. 1-0. Fouled back, 1-1.
I'm wondering if that's a pass ball or a wild pitch.
It feels like it's got to be a pass ball.
Yeah, I think that's a pass ball. Especially a guy like Alejandro Kirk, who's very good defensively. You have to catch that baseball.
6-3, an important base runner on second with 1 out. 1-1 to Lau. Hit back foul, 1-2. It has been ruled a wild pitch initially.
Interesting.
They do often, though, make those rulings and then go back, take a look at the video. The official scorer doesn't have all the time in the world right now because they're still scoring everything that's going on. But for now, wild pitch. 1-2. Popped up. Third base side over the dugout into the seats. Brandon Lau is 2 for 4 today. Home run and a single. Also a ground out and a strikeout. Josh Lowe on second. The 1-2 pitch. Hit well center field. Going back, Straw into a jog, looking up. It is gone, way gone for Brandon Lau. A multi-homer game, and the Rays have their largest lead today, 8-3.
Again, you could talk about the roof all you want, but that was a fastball right down the middle. And Brandon Lau did not miss it. 109 miles off the bat, 430 feet off that batter's eye in center field.
For the Rays, their 4th homer of the day. 7 homers total in this game. Pitch to Junior Caminero. Outside ball 1. In one sense, we shouldn't be expecting a lot of homers in this series, even though there's been a ton, because both of these teams have struggled to hit it out this year. On the other hand, both teams have surrendered a lot of home runs this year. 1-0 pitch is outside, 2-0, and so it seems like that has factored in more. The Rays actually came into this game allowing more than half of their runs against via a homer, most in the big leagues, and the Blue Jays were third, 47%. 2-0. Swing and a miss by Caminero. Big hack. It's 2-1. (8-3) for the Tampa Bay Rays. 1 out, bases empty, top of the 9th. Urena kicks and deals. And that one misses outside by a hair. A changeup off the plate. 3-1. Pete Fairbanks, the closer, was up for the Rays, but now Cole Sulser is throwing. No longer a safe situation for Tampa Bay. 3-1. Check swing pitch in the dirt, appeal to first. He didn't go, and that's a walk to Caminero. This 9th inning is brought to you by New Pizza from Pizza Pizza. Get a huge 18-inch double XL 3-topping pizza for just $19.99. Bigger slices, bigger bites, only at Pizza Pizza, actually Canadian. 8-3 Rays, 1 out, top of the 9th, and a runner on first. The pitch to Jonathan Aranda is lined and caught at first on a leap by Guerrero. Lands and steps on the bag for a double play to end the inning. Very nice catch by the 2022 Gold Glover, but the Rays end up with 2 runs in the inning thanks to a second 2-run shot of the game by Brandon Lau. Bottom of the 9th, Blue Jays down 8-3. They'll need 5 to tie it, 6 to win it when we come back. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming at sportsnet.ca and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central sets you up for a night of drama. Then,
It's a Florida team that's found its game again. This has been a well-executed game by the Florida Panthers.
the champs dominated.
Game 5 couldn't have gone any worse.
Now it's back to sunrise.
So much at stake here.
Can Toronto survive the Florida heat? It's win or go home.
How do you rebound now if you're the Maple Leafs? You got to give your best performance of the season. Simple as that.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
Not tomorrow, not someday. The home improvements begin today. It's game on with Timber Mart. Build that deck, raise that fence, landscape till your property is beautiful. Make no payments for 12 months with the Timber Mart Deferred Payment Program. Apply for a Timber Mart project card today and pay later, 12 months later. Financing provided by Fairstone Financial Inc. Conditions apply. Ask in-store for details or apply at timbermart.ca. Locally owned, proudly Canadian. Timber Mart is Canada's building center.
Hey, this is Chad Green. You're listening to Toronto Blue Jays Baseball on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Blue Jays Baseball. Show Ali with you. The Blue Jays now trail the Rays 8-3 as we head to the bottom of the 9th inning at the Rogers Center. Don't forget, we do have Jays Talk this afternoon. Blair and Barker have the post-game show. They will take your calls and texts. Jeff will throw out the numbers for you to call after the final out. You can text them as well. 590-590, name and location. The People's Text line always open. Standard data and messaging rates may apply. Blue Jays Baseball, as always, brought to you by Crown Rust Protection. The Jays trail 8-3, bottom 9. 9 at the Rogers Center. Here are Ben Schulman and Chris LaRue with the call.
Thank you very much, Joe. Bottom of the 9th inning, pitching change for the Rays, brought to you by Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer for the Toronto Blue Jays, locally owned, genuinely Canadian. Right-hander Cole Sulser on the hill. 8-3 Rays. Alejandro Kirk leading off this bottom of the 9th. Right-hander kicks and offers. Misses outside and low. Ball 1. Cole Sulser with a 6.35 ERA this year in 5 appearances across 5 2/3 innings. His 1-0. Called strike. Started this inning with a pair of cutters. It's somewhere between a slider and a cutter. That last one at 85 miles an hour. He's low to mid-90s with his 4-seamer. He also throws a changeup. Next pitch. Line foul over the netting off to the right. And it's 1-2.
Cole Sulser went to Dartmouth. It's always nice to see some Ivy League guys thrown in there.
Smart guy.
It's like a lot like a Winthrop graduate.
Pretty much the same
smart
degree.
Guy.
Pretty much the same degree. The 1-2. Bounce to the plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Syracuse is in the Ivy League, right?
Yeah, of course. It's the Dartmouth of Central New York. 2-2 count to Kirk. Base is empty. He's the first batter of the bottom of the 9th. Bearded Sulser rocks and offers. Kirk fouls it away right behind him. Cole Sulser, a 25th rounder out of Dartmouth in 2013 by Cleveland. Was traded to the Rays in the deal that also brought Yandy Diaz over to the Rays. It's a 3-team trade, and that led to Sulser debuting with the Rays against the Blue Jays in 2019. 2-2, hit on the ground is short, picked up Walls, shuffles, throws over to first, 1 out. It has not been straightforward, though. It's not like Sulser, okay, drafted by one team, traded to the Rays, comes up in 19, and he's been with the Rays since. No. Instead, he pitched with the Rays in 19, and then bounced around to the Orioles, Marlins, Diamondbacks, Mets, and then back to the Rays between 2020 and 2024. Biggest opportunity came in 2021 with Baltimore. He threw 60 times, also pitched 39 times with Miami in 22. First pitch to Addison Barger, ripped at and missed. Strike 1. 8-3 Rays. 1 out, base is empty, bottom 9. The pitch. Fouled straight back. 0-2.
Being in the bullpen is just so unfair sometimes. You go from a 2.7 ERA in 60 ball games, 63 1/3 innings, almost a 5.5 in your next season. It's so up and down.
0-2. Fouled off the right foot of the home plate umpire, Adrian Johnson, who doesn't even move a muscle. Still no balls, 2 strikes.
Tough guy back there.
Seriously. That's why he's the crew chief.
Barger's helmet went flying.
Everyone gets an extra second. Some new baseballs for Adrian Johnson. Danny Jansen had gone out in front of the plate. Now he crouches back behind it and goes to his leg to the pitch count. The 0-2. Outside and low. Sulser living the life a lot of relievers live also this year. Starts at AAA, comes up in mid-April, back down, came up again in May. His 1-2 is called. Strike 3. 2 quick outs in this bottom of the 9th inning. Blue Jays down to their last chance in this series, trailing 8-3 against the Rays.
That's a pitch that Addison Barger wants back. I bet he hammers that 4-seamer if he actually swings the bat. You could see him disappointed with that one right there. At least try to foul that off, try to stay alive. He just watches it go by.
It was down and in, right in the happy zone. Pitch down to Ernie Clement. Chopped on the ground to third. This should do it. Coming in, Caminero has it, throws over to first. The Rays win the game, and they win the series. 8-3, the final score, as an offensive barrage from Tampa Bay powers them to a road series win over the Blue Jays.
Yeah, just a forgettable performance from the Blue Jays pitching staff. Kevin Gausman like I said during the broadcast, had really good stuff. That fastball velocity was up to 99 miles an hour. Just too many pitches that were very hittable, and the Rays obviously took advantage of that.
8-3 the final score. We'll take a quick break, wrap it up quickly on the other side, and get you over to Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. You're listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center, streaming on the Sportsnet app and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
At Crown Rust Control Center, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control Center is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch three-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Go to pizzapizza.ca. This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Called strike 3, change up at the knees, and there's nothing you can do about that pitch.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. Blue Jays fall to the Tampa Bay Rays today, 8-3. The final score as the Rays take the rubber match to win the series over the Blue Jays. I'm Ben Schulman alongside Chris LaRue. And Chris, you talked about it a little bit at the end of the game, but a tough one today for Kevin Gausman. He goes 5 2/3, 9 hits, gives up 6 runs, and they were really on him from the start. 2 in the first, 1 in the second, 1 in the fourth.
You have to give credit to the Rays hitters. They really took advantage of those mistakes, and they really drove the ball to the big part of the field when Kevin Gausman left those pitches over the middle of the plate. But like I said, Kevin Gausman had really good stuff today. The fastball was almost sitting mid to upper 90s. We don't really see that very often, especially this season. He's been anywhere from 91 with that fastball up to 98, but sitting mid to upper 90s, you could tell he felt very good. The fastball had a lot of life to it, but like I said, just too many pitches over the middle of the plate, and you have to give credit to the Rays for taking advantage of that.
On the other side, pretty solid day from Zach Littell. He does end with 3 runs on his line, but he pitched into the 8th inning, and if not for the Blue Jays making this game closer, probably could have gone even deeper.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's turned himself into a starter from a reliever, not your typical starter. He leads with the slider and the splitter, but very effective, a tough guy to square up because you don't really know what's coming. A lot like Chris Bassett, where he could flip in any pitch, in any count, and it was a very good ball game from him today.
Zach Littell ends up 7 1/3, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. And whether it was Littell or Manuel Rodriguez or Cole Sulser after, the Blue Jays bats did not have much today. They came up with 3 home runs. They had 8 hits overall, but a fair amount of singles. They didn't have a hit with a runner in scoring position, but they didn't have that many opportunities, frankly, with a runner in scoring position. Anyway, so the Rays win the game 8-3, taking 2 out of 3 in the series. It's the 4th time in a row that the Rays have come to Toronto and taken the series 2-1. Tampa Bay scores 8 runs on 14 hits, no errors. They end up leaving 5 on base. For the Blue Jays, it's 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors. They leave 4 on base. A win for Zach Littell. He's 3-5, and the Rays have won his last 4 starts. Kevin Gausman with the loss is now 3-4, no save in today's game. This one took 2 hours and 34 minutes in front of a crowd of 22,500 at Rogers Center. With the win, the Rays get their 20th of the year. They're 20-23. The Blue Jays failed to get above 500 today. They go to 21-22. In terms of games back now in a tie for second with the Boston Red Sox in the AL East. Toronto looks to regroup tomorrow when they welcome in perhaps the best team in the American League. It's going to be the Detroit Tigers in town tomorrow for the first of 3 games in Major League Baseball's rivalry weekend. And Jack Flaherty will take the hill against Bowden Francis for a 7:07 first pitch. Hope you can join us then. Appreciate you tuning in now. For Tom Young and Austin Mackey, our technical directors, Show Ali, our host and producer, Chris LaRue, my partner, I'm Ben Schulman. Appreciate you tuning in. Have a good night and get your calls and texts in. Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker starts right now.
All right, Kevin Barker. Well, spent a lot of time during Blair and Barker before the Jays game talking about Anthony Santander and doing a job breaking down some of the issues we've seen with him. Anthony Santander today, 0 for 4. Got the ball out of the infield once, double play. But in the 8th inning, Kevin, after Vladimir Guerrero Jr. walked, you've got to explain this at bat to me. Manuel Rodriguez is pitching. He throws hard. He's throwing 98 or 99. How on earth does Anthony Santander get in front of pitches that hard? How does he send that 99-mile-per-hour pitch foul? How does he pull that foul?
Yeah, I think you're talking about the 197 middle with the guy on base. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I think he's got out and around to his swing. I don't think the hand direction's very good. I think he's late with his front foot when it comes to timing off the pitcher. He's in between a lot of the times. You mentioned the 0 for 4, the first inning with 2 on. He's all over. If I'm the hitting coach, I catch him coming off the field and ask him why. Like, why are you swinging at these things? What's your approach? What are you thinking? Why? Give me the answer to why. Like, they need to have a little urgency when it just comes to the quality of the at-bat. It's just not there. I mean, the middle of the order to have at-bats the way he had them in his second at-bat was late on 92 middle up. Got to hit that thing to Jupiter. You know, you're not late and pop out to right field. You hit that thing to Jupiter. Like, I mean, he's 100 plus 50 at-bats in to this thing. His third at-bat, he chases 2 non-competitive pitches. He grounds into a double play. I don't get it. You mentioned the 97 down the middle. That's something you got to stay inside of. You're thinking right center more than right field line or right field. Like, they're too far into the season now to continue to have at-bats after bat like that. He left 5 guys on base. He does or has 2 quality at-bats out of the 4. They got a good chance of winning that game.
Yep.
I mean, again, Kevin made some pitches occasionally. I think for me anyway, watching the game, it had more to do with the Rays, good hitting, than it had to do with bad pitching. I mean, you look at it, I mean, some of them sliders that were thrown to lefties that were hit out, like who's looking for a slider from Kevin if you're left-handed? No. I mean, every once in a while you got to tip your hat to the opposing team. He had some bad luck there in the second inning with the jam shot from Danny Jansen. Like, he made a decent pitch and a decent count occasionally, a lineup that's feeling frisky. It swings it. Basically everything, is occasionally going to give up some hard hit balls. I just wonder about Tony. Hey, look, I don't know what you do. Again, I was talking about this today, right? I mean, he's got one thing on mind. That's get the head out and pull everything. The timing of point of contact always has to be on point. It's not. It's either late or he's early. How do you get it on time and in the middle? Something's got to give there. So better hurry.
8-3, the Blue Jays losing to the Tampa Bay Rays. The Rays have won the season, or not won the season series. The Rays won this series. God knows, maybe they'll end up winning the season series, but they won this series. The Jays are 21-22. They welcome in the Detroit Tigers. Welcome being kind of an interesting way to describe it. The Detroit Tigers are in town for 3 games this weekend. Then the San Diego Padres come in. It is Blue Jays Talk with Blair and Barker. The numbers, as always, 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. 590 is the text line. Please leave your name and location. The Rays jumped into a 2-0 lead on Kevin Gossman. Leadoff single by Josh Lowe. Brandon Lau hitting a home run. Other home runs for the Rays coming from Josh Lowe. And did Brandon Lau hit 2? I can't even read my own writing.
He did.
He did indeed hit 2.
Way up.
Yeah, he hit one in the 9th inning as well. The roof opened for the first time this year. Addison Barger with a home run for the Blue Jays. Vladdy hit a home run as well for the Blue Jays, but again 8-3. The Jays are now 1 game under 500. again. Kevin, you talked a little bit about Kevin Gossman. Velo was certainly there today, 99, threw one pitch at 98.9, which is one of his hardest pitches of this year. But you're right. I think the Rays seemed to have a pretty good approach against him. And absolutely, I mean, that jam shot by Danny Jansen just kind of, boy, it's still, even with the Jays hitting, once you get to that third run in the second inning, you're kind of scratching your head a little bit there.
Yeah, look, again, every once in a while, I know it's hard. You know, when you're rooting for your team and you're always wanting these dudes to be perfect, sometimes you got to give the other team credit. For me, that was what happened today. Again, you watch the at-bats, you watch the location, you watch where the pitches are at. You watch, sort of how the Rays are trying to attack each single at-bat. You better make a good pitch, as aggressive as they are, as, lefty, righty as they are. That means a pitcher has to be on point when it comes to east and west and north. South with left-handed hitters is very hard to attack. You got to be careful with that. That's why you got to go east and west and north. When you miss a little bit, right, if you're trying to go back foot and you leave it a little out over the plate, and even if it's down because a hitter's very aggressive, they're going to make you pay for it. That's what happened with Kevin. I mean, I go back. Those were decent pitches. Just dudes were taking good swings. They're very aggressive. They were thinking big part of the field. A lot of good things happen, Jeff, when you stay through the baseball. You do that, it gives yourself a chance to barrel up a bunch of balls. Because you're a big leaguer, good things going to happen.
Well, right now we're just waiting for Tony. Basically, that's kind of where the Jays are. It seems like a lot of things are falling in place for this team. Anthony Santander has to get it going. There's not much doubt about that. Russ in New Jersey, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Good afternoon, guys. I think you said it right. There's a lot of just good things going for this team. And, in the past years, if you would have started out, a game under 500, you would have dug yourself a big hole in the American League East. I know the Yankees are about, 7, 8 games over 500. But, they're not, we all thought the Orioles are just non-competitive, basically. I don't even know what's happened there. But, the Blue Jays have a chance if they could put it together. And you just, Bo's hitting so well. And Vladdy, I know it was only his 5th homer, but he's getting the walks. He's not chasing. Springer got off to a tremendous start. You see if the pitching and the offense can come together, this team is capable of going on a 2-3 week run where they just can really, really do well and compete for that division. But you just got to get everything going. Like you guys said, I thought Santander when he hit that homer against Boston, and slow starters is nice, but we're over a quarter into the season already. You know what I mean? It's not 20, 25 games. We're over a quarter into the season, and this guy's got to hit, in the number 3 spot. Guerrero and Bichette are getting on base, and he's having ample opportunity to drive people in and make a difference. But like you said, we're waiting on Mr. Santander, and hopefully he can, put it together because, like I said, I think this team – I don't know how good they are, but I don't believe anybody else is that good in the American League East that we can compete for this division.
Yeah, Russ, I appreciate the call, and I think we're both with you in that. I mean, I don't know what the hell's happened to the Baltimore Orioles. I mean, they really are
lost their mojo.
Well, they're playing like a team that's waiting around for somebody to be traded or their manager to be fired, and I'm sure that's probably where we're going with it. They lost again today, by the way, to the Minnesota Twins, who are on a roll at this point in time. But to get back to the Blue Jays, I mean, Russ is right. Listen, you can't blame one guy for a loss. But, Kevin, you're right. Anthony Santander comes through in a couple of those situations, and who knows how the game turns out.
Yeah, I'm not blaming him. It's shocking, I think, with a guy that you're sticking in the middle of the order. Again, he's not a great hitter. He's a home run hitter. There's a giant difference. But to continuously look the exact same way every single time you go to the plate is a little mind-boggling, right? Occasionally, we all know, we've talked about that forever, about how he's a slow starter. It just seems like once you reach that 150 at bat mark, mechanically you should be raring and ready to go. Timing should be on point. Now it's just about getting a decent pitch to hit that you can drive to where your strength is, which is obviously the pull side. And for him to look the way he looked today, trust me, I know exactly how hard hitting is. But man alive, sometimes I think you make it harder on yourself, and it's just one of them days where it's just eye-popping to watch the way he walked to the plate and the way he walked away from the plate.
And Kevin, let's be clear. He had a couple of days off. He did have the shoulder issue, but he had a couple of days off, so it's not as if he's been run into the ground or anything like that. You know, he has talked to John Schneider about wanting to be in the field, not wanting to purely be a DH. He was in the field today. I thought he pulled up a little bit on a ball into the outfield, but I mean, Anthony Santander is not going to win a Gold Glove for you. But again, he has told the manager he just doesn't want to be a DH. He wants to be in the outfield. He feels more involved in the game. Yeah. Like they're doing everything. They're doing everything they can, or they're doing everything he wants them to do. He's just not coming through. And
optics of at bats matter.
Absolutely, yeah.
It tells you how you want to feel about a certain guy, and you can sort of monitor and sort of try and predict the future on how close a guy can look. He looked like he's even anywhere near close. Not to me. Like maybe he'll show up tomorrow and hit 5 homers, which is exactly what they need. But man alive, I get back to that. And that's the first thing I ask you when I talk to you is how do you take 97 middle and pull it foul like that?
I don't know.
Like who does that?
Well, and even in the first pitch of the at-bat, Kevin, he went down to his knee. He was so far in front. I mean, I was just...
That's crazy.
Yeah, it
crazy. I do want to mention this about Bo, because this is, I think, the real first day that we've seen Bo.
3 for 4, by the way.
What I mean by that is he got a hit on a slider down and away. He got a hit on a split finger middle. He got his last double on a sinker up and in. He's covering all kinds of different speeds and all kinds of different quadrants. That'll tell you that Bo's not thinking about anything other than seeing the baseball. Mm-hmm. When you start seeing games like that, I think that is what I'm talking about. Yep. You want to see a step forward. You want to see it playing out. You want to see actually that guy doing things that only he can do. You're starting to see it with Bo, and you can close your eyes now that you're starting to see Vladdy do a little bit of things that Vladdy can do. Bo's starting to do it. What if they got Tony, red hot?
416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590, 590 is the text line. The Blue Jays have lost 8-3 to the Tampa Bay Rays. Paul from Toronto on the text line. Guys, baseball and its out-of-date theories and traditions has gotten to the point of sacrificing wins to placate the delicate feelings of these pampered athletes. I don't know about its out-of-date theories and traditions. I think some of that is, more than anything else, some of the newfangled theories and traditions. But anyhow, nobody's calling for Tony to be benched, but how many times does he have to kill rallies before moving him down? If they slid Springer and Kirk up to 3 and 4, how many wins might have followed? Look, we've talked about the lineup. We've talked about how once Dalton Varsho is back, and he is back, John Schneider might have a little more freedom to do things. But here's the thing, and Kevin, I know exactly what you're going to say. Other than Anthony Santander, for the most part, this is working. Alejandro Kirk, that's working. Springer basically rejuvenated his career. Bo, you said. Bo looked like Bo today. Vladdy's, you're starting to see some more power. He's drawing walks. Mm-hmm. These other guys shouldn't have to have their routines disrupted or their positions disrupted because Anthony Santander isn't hitting.
Yeah, and maybe the guys that are below Anthony are below him and hot because they're below Anthony, right? I mean, that's
great point.
It's sort of like that 2 + 2 theory. It ain't 7, it's 4. Yep. So I think they're only going to go as probably far as those big 3 at the top of the lineup are going to take them. Sooner or later, the dude's got to get hot again. With John's coming on our show tomorrow, he ain't going to say he's moving him down in the lineup.
Nope.
But it would be intriguing to hear him sort of have the conversation about what would it take for you to want to think about maybe, I don't know, moving somebody in front of him. That's a whole different kind of conversation. Mm-hmm. So, I don't think they're there yet. It's a little early in the season. They are what they are. But you would just like to see the competition of the at-bat be better. Yep. Don't do the same thing over and over again.
Jerry in Toronto, I think you're on the same wavelength as our texter. Sorry, Jerry in Montreal. Sorry, Jerry.
Yeah, Jerry. Guys, listen, I don't understand why you wouldn't bump him a little bit lower down in the lineup. He's been costing this team games. Let's say the truth. And I'm willing to understand that the guy's a slow starter, but now it's been a month and a half. And you have guys that are hot. You have guys that are putting the bat on the ball. John Schneider's playing for his job right now. I don't understand how he can continue bargaining on a guy who's just not coming through. And if you want to take out a little bit of pressure, maybe bump him up like they did Bichette last year when he was having a hard time, and see if it works out. I mean, they say the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome. Well, he's been in that 3-hole every night since then, and nothing has happened. So, John, need to shake it up a little bit here.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. I mean, I think John's answer to that would be, well, you wanted me to shake up Bichette and Guerrero as well, and that's starting to work out, or at least looking a little better.
Let me ask you a question, Jeff. If you move him down, you're gonna whoever you put in that spot, you're gonna have to leave there for say a week at a time. Who would that week at a time guy be? Not a couple of days, a week at a time. Who's it gonna be?
Farshow?
I mean,
I'm just saying, like you asked. I don't really want to have Springer up there. You see, I don't want to do this because I'm seeing what I need to see from Springer and Kirk. I'm seeing what I need to see from Bo. I'm starting to see what I need to see from Vladdy.
Yeah,
you almost have to. You almost have to ride with Santander in the third spot.
Absolutely. I mean, you dropped a large amount of money on him to hit somewhere around Bo and Vladdy to drive in runs and get the at-bat in the first inning and get that key at-bat late in the game. I don't know who else you'd want to give the at-bat to. I just got a text from somebody saying Kirky.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, Kirky in the number 3 spot.
I mean, he's slugging like mid-300s.
Yeah.
Let's pump the brakes on that just a tick.
Daryl in Cambridge, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Kevin. How are you guys today?
We're doing well, man.
Good to hear. I think Santander's got ahead of those 2 balls is because he actually got his foot down on time. His hands and his swing stuff has changed a lot from last year, but I think his foot's not getting down in time, and that's kind of putting him behind the 8 ball. I also think that the Blue Jays are kind of mimicking what they did last year, whereas they get close to 500, then they fade away down a bit. They get back up to 500, they fade away down a bit. There's no situational baseball at all. Like, hit behind the runners. Don't try to pull everything. To me, it's just situational hitting. They start running the bases better, but they start hitting more situational hitting. They're going to end up scoring more runs. They're going to win more games. Thanks. Wish to hear your comments.
Thanks, Daryl. I'll pass it over to Kevin. I mean, I think their situational hitting for the most part has been pretty decent this year.
I mean, they've hit 20 homers last 14 games. They've won 5 of 7 after today. Are they a situational team? I don't know.
We've seen. I mean, look, we've talked about how they've done some things with the bottom of the order. Situational hitting to me is. I mean, I don't know.
Like Nathan Lucas hit a homer today. That's a good thing. Barger hit a homer today. Yeah. That's a good thing. We're talking about a guy that's hitting third that's supposed to hit 3-run homers.
Yes.
Not bunt a guy over or hit behind a guy. Yeah. That's a big difference, right? When the situation arises where we have to talk about guys not getting bunts down, then me and Jeff will start talking about guys who ain't getting bunts down. So this team's flawed. I think we all know that, and everything. It's going to have to be a perfect storm for them to go on that, say that Minnesota Twins thing. Jeff.
Which came out of nowhere.
Yeah. Let me ask you, Jeff. All systems go. Jays win 11 in a row?
Wow. 11 in a row?
Well, that's what the Twinkies did after today, right? 11 in a row? Can the Jays do that?
Man, 11 in a row is I'm just going to say no because I have a hard time wrapping my head around this team winning 11 games in a row. Anybody winning 11 in a row. I would just say no. For no good reason.
There's a lot of teams in the American League are right in the middle of the pack. It's hard for a lot of teams in the middle of the pack to win 11 in a row, right? Yeah. So that's, and
I'd also
maybe 5 out of 7 ain't too shabby.
I'd also have to see who the Twins played during this winning streak. But 11 in a row, you're talking about at least 2 turns of the 5th spot through the order. The 5th spot of the rotation through the order. 11 in a row is awfully hard. And looking at the Jays' schedule, just taking a quick peek at it, it doesn't scream 11 in a row to me at any point, at least up until I've only looked really through to the All-Star break, and I don't see anything that screams 11 in a row.
Okay, they've had the Guardians, the Red Sox, and the Orioles. Not too shabby.
Yep. 416-870-0590, star 590, 1-888-666-0590. The Blue Jays have lost 8-3 to the Tampa Bay Rays. They will welcome the Detroit Tigers in town tomorrow for the first of 3 games. We'll take a break, come back, look at the out-of-town scoreboard, such as it is. Take a look at the American League East standings as well. It's Blue Jays Talk on the Sportsnet Radio Network.
Knock all your summer projects out of the park with Home Hardware, the official home improvement retailer of the Toronto Blue Jays and your DIY partner in making your dream home a reality. From gardens to garages, back decks to front doors, refreshes and renos, we're here to help you cover all your bases and make every summer project a home run. Visit any of our 1,000+ home hardware and building center locations where we're proud to be locally owned and genuinely Canadian.
Tomorrow on Sportsnet, Hockey Central sets you up for a night of drama. Then,
the Florida team that's found its game again. This has been a well-executed game by the Florida Panthers.
The champs dominated.
Game 5 couldn't have gone any worse.
Now it's back to sunrise.
So much at stake here.
Can Toronto survive the Florida heat? It's win or go home.
How do you rebound now if you're the Maple Leafs? You got to give your best performance of the season. Simple as that.
The Stanley Cup playoffs. Watch on Sportsnet. Stream on Sportsnet Plus.
At Crown Rust Control, protection runs deep because every Crown Rust Control Center is owned by a local family who cares beyond business. Your Crown Rust Control is 100% committed to their product, to you, to their community, which is your community. Protecting you and what matters to you is equally important as protecting your vehicle. Did you know spring's the best time of year to protect your vehicle from rust? For a special spring offer, find your local family-owned Crown Rust Control Center at crown.com.
If you're looking for a fun day, did you know the day before Monday? Junior J Sunday. You can paint your face, come and meet Ace and run base to base. On Junior J Sunday. So many things to do. You can bring your crew and even mom and dad too. Junior J Sunday.
Lights up, let's go to Junior J Sundays. It's family fun throughout the ballpark with games and activities that your squad will never forget.
Feeling the song, grab your dad or mom, visit BlueJays.com. Junior J Sunday.
Buck Martinez here to tell you about the huge Double XL free topping pizza from Pizza Pizza, just $19.99. That's a whopping 18-inch 3-topping thing of beauty for only $19.99. So hurry into Pizza Pizza today and bring a big appetite for a hot and fresh Double XL pizza. I'm loving this big voice. I may just call the game this way.
Order pizzapizza.ca. Decking isn't just about wood. It's about creating the perfect outdoor retreat, and it all begins with the right materials. Essentials you always find at Trex, the leader in composite decking for over 30 years. Sustainable, durable, beautiful. Trex isn't just decking, it's a lifestyle. From homeowners to pros, everyone knows Trex delivers unmatched quality. Ready to transform your backyard into a dream space? Find Trex at Timbermart, Canada's building center, where your outdoor vision comes to life.
This is Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Clement vacuums it up, throws to second one. Jimenez to first, double play.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Sportsnet Radio Network.
The power's coming.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about that for about 3 weeks. How, home runs are going to come. Seemed like the ball was traveling pretty well with the roof open today. Yeah, I mean, that's a huge boost for us. I think it'd be nice to have, today 3 solo homers, but these guys can do that. And I think that, you get some unexpected power from the bottom at times. I think Nate is having really, really good at bats. But yeah, I think that's just a plus for us going forward. Not trying to force it and everyone kind of doing their thing, but these guys, I've been really impressed with the way they've been swinging the bat, hitting the ball really hard.
That's John Schneider, manager of the Toronto Blue Jays. 3 solo home runs today, not enough in an 8-3 loss to the Tampa Bay Rays at the Rogers Center. The roof was open.
It's beautiful. It was beautiful.
The ball does seem to be traveling.
That's a lie.
Who the hell knows?
No, they're big leaguers.
Yeah, the ball always seems to travel, frankly. The Blue Jays.
Jay said 3 homers.
Blue Jays give up a lot of home runs, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. Time now to take a look at the American League East with Bet365. At Bet365, you can bet in popular markets like hits, home runs, and total bases. You can download the app and find out why it's never ordinary at Bet365, 19+. Play responsibly, Ontario only. The Red Sox and the Yankees both have today off. The Baltimore Orioles, not as lucky. The Orioles losing 4-0 to the Minnesota Twins. So Mr. Barker's Orioles are in a world of hurt.
Barker's Twins.
No, the Twins are my team.
No.
They've always been my team. You know that.
You're lying.
That's my favorite team.
You're like the Rays.
It's my childhood team. No. The Twinkies have been my childhood. The Twinkies have it going on right now. I'm not a front runner.
You are.
I'm not a front runner. The Twinkies have won 11 in a row, and they're at 500. No, they're 4 games over 500. Sorry, the Twins have won 11 in a row. Anyhow, the American League East, the Yankees are 25-18. Actually, Aaron Judge and Max Fried are 25-18. The rest of the team is pretty much just along for the ride. The Red Sox are 22-23. Barker's Blue Jays are 21-22. The Tampa Bay Rays are 20-23, and the Baltimore Orioles are 15-27. They're waiting for their manager to get fired. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's going to fix it.
Well, no one's going to say it's going to. I'm not saying it's going to fix it, but you do get a sense around a team that they're waiting for something to happen, and that team is clearly waiting for something to happen.
Huh.
They're 2-8 in their last 10. Their run differential's -74. They're not hitting. I'm sure you've seen some of the games. They were never in that Minnesota series. They never were. They're never in that series.
Well, their pitching stinks.
Their
that has
pitching
nothing to do with Brandon Hyde.
No, it doesn't. But somebody always has to pay the price, right?
Oh yeah.
They
need a body. Is that what you say?
Got to throw a body overboard. Got to feed the sharks, baby. Got to feed the sharks. Got to let people know that you care. How do you do that? If you can't win, you fire somebody. Brendan in Edmonton, you're on Blue Jays Talk.
Hey, Jeff, Kevin. I just wanted to ask you guys a couple of questions about the situational hitting. I know that the previous caller just talked about it, but what this team did with runners in scoring position today, or even just guys on base, there was 3 double plays that were hit. A lot of just, I wouldn't say selfish at-bats, but swing decisions made in counts where you don't necessarily need to go after pitches in that situation. I fell in love with Russell Martin, watching him play out there and just spoil bad pitch after bad pitch to get the good meaty fastball down the middle and one he could do damage with. And I just wonder, does it take an extreme veteran or just somebody who's willing to wait for those bad mistakes to come?
I'll pass it over to Mr. Barker. Thanks for the call.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the question is. What is the question?
Well, I think the caller thinks that using Russell Martin as an example, somebody who would spoil bad pitches to get to a good pitch. This is what we've talked about, the 8-pitch at bat. It's great when you spoil bad pitches to get to a good pitch. What's not good is when you spoil a good pitch, and that's why I think we've kind of adopted the Josh Donaldson approach. Don't talk to me about my 9-pitch at bat if the second pitch was the one I was supposed to drive to the moon and I missed it.
I think that's the kind of player that Russell was, right? That's how he made his mark as a big leaguer, was being a good defender, being a good game caller, blocker, thrower, and battle offensively.
Yeah, Russell
right?
tried to put the ball in play, yeah.
There you go. 2 of the 3 double plays, one was from Springer, one from Tony. Ain't no bunting, ain't no getting no dude over, right, with those 2 guys. So, yeah, look, I think that's a process where you got to buy into it. You got to get paid to do it. We're talking, again, today for me had nothing to do with small ball or hitting behind runners. It had to do with one guy hitting in a 3-hole. That one for me was sort of what summed it up, and giving up homers, right? That's the 2 things. That's the recipe for losing, is one of your better hitters comes up in big time at bats and looks like Tony looked, and then you give up a bunch of homers. Most of the time you lose most of those games.
Bob from Mississauga on the text line. This is short and sweet. This pitching staff isn't good enough. Please stop blaming just the offense. And then he adds the obligatory fire Atkins line, which is kind of commonplace, basically, regardless of how this team is doing. Are we too easy in this pitching staff?
Probably just because it's what they've went through the last couple of years to even try whatsoever to make this team relevant. I think for me, some of the times they get a hall pass, especially the big three. Big three for me is getting a hall pass, right? I mean, as much as they've tried to do to keep people from scoring zero and, regardless of the 2 or 3 run variety. But on the flip side of that, they are giving up the second most homers in the sport. I think they got the eighth worst ERA in baseball, right? But they do have the second most punch outs. So you're doing, it's on both ends here, right? You're attacking the zone. You're obviously strike the ball guys. But then on top of it, you're leaving a bunch of balls in zones where dudes can hit homers, big part of the field. So, yeah, I think there's some truth to that. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with that. But for me, just with the way the offense basically hasn't shown up until 2 dudes have ran into each other in a playoff game, I just don't know how you can sit on there and yell and scream about a pitching staff. Can you?
No. Again, considering everything this pitching staff has gone through, and I'm not making it sound like they're doing road work in the middle of August and it's 130 degrees and all that when I say the amount of work they've done. But, I mean, it hasn't been particularly smooth sailing for this starting rotation. 2 of them are older guys. All right, let me rephrase that. They've got guys with lots of miles in their arms because they've got guys that make every start. They've got guys that, knock on wood, generally stay healthy. We've talked about the stuff they had to do because of the Alek Manoah situation. This year, they're a 4-man rotation for the most part. Max Scherzer isn't, who the hell knows when Max Scherzer is going to be a factor in this team. Bowden Francis is working through a few things. So I don't know if it's necessarily giving them a hall pass as much as more often than not, we look at a game the Jays have lost, and it's a game like today where you go, man, just 1 or 2 hits here, and we're talking about something different. But Kevin, the caller's point is fair. You know what? The first 3 guys in this rotation, they give up home runs.
Let me ask you a question. I just asked you about, do you think this team can go on an 11-game winning streak? Do you think this pitching staff can win a playoff series?
Yes. Without question, because of the back end of the bullpen. Yeah, without question. Without 100% they can win a series. Now, are they capable of winning 3 games, 1-0? I don't know about that. But are they good enough to win a series? Absolutely.
Who gets the ball in game 1?
Wow.
Think long, think wrong.
No, you're probably no. I'm giving it.
I don't know if there's an answer.
Yeah, there is. I'm giving it to Gossman in game 1. Depending on who depending on who the matchup is, because one thing with Kevin, there are some teams that light him up. So it would depend who the matchup is. My choice would be Gossman or Barrios, 1 or 2. Yeah. But Kevin, because of the bullpen, I'm more comfortable making that call.
All right.
I'm more comfortable. Who would you start?
I don't.
You think they need that? You think they need to add a guy?
I think there's, again, I think the rotation's good enough to get him to the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not sure about just every once in a while, right, in a playoff series, it's got to be mano-a-mano.
They got to have a stud.
Do they?
Yeah, that's a real good question.
Hey.
That's a real good question.
Yeah.
That's a real good question.
It's the hard one to answer.
It is. Speaking of Kevin Gossman, this was Gossman discussing the outing this afternoon.
Yeah, I did. I think the Rays would probably say differently, I felt like they swung at every fastball I threw. So, not chasing too many splits. So, need to be better at kind of carrying the zone better with that pitch. Tried to kind of change it up and got beat on a slider down in the zone. It just kind of seems like my mistakes are really hurting me right now. If I make 5 mistakes in a game, I feel like that's, 5 runs I'm giving up. So, somehow I need to find a way to get better and, be better for this team. In this series, like, that's a perfect situation for me to go out there and pitch well and us win this series. But obviously that didn't happen.
It was Kevin Gossman. He was asked, by the way, on whether or not he thought he had one of his best fastballs today. Obviously, the answer is yes in his mind, but then you heard his explanation.
It's hard to give the other team credit. It's hard.
Yeah.
For me, it was all Rays. I don't think it had anything to do with Kevin. I go back and look. I mean, them decent pitches. He's getting the 2 strikes, making decent pitches. I mean, one of the homers he gave up was a slider.
Yeah.
How many sliders he threw to lefties? I mean, it was down.
Yeah, I don't.
It's on the black down.
I
Like,
was
he was a
surprised.
decent pitch.
He threw a couple of sliders to lefties today that got, I know, listening to the telecast, got Buck's attention. But yeah, I guess that happens. It really is. It sounds really trite to see, but sometimes you do have to tip your cap to the hitters.
It's hard, ain't it?
Sometimes the hitters have a pretty good approach.
Yeah, they do.
And
They're big leaguers.
8 runs is 8 runs, man. But that first inning was, you could pretty much tell what the Rays were thinking in that first inning. I mean, you got guys going up.
Yeah, I mean, that's the approach. It should be all the time. Every guy you face, especially dude does a split finger.
Yep, absolutely. 8-3, the Blue Jays have lost to the Rays. The good news is they get to start another series tomorrow. The Detroit Tigers come in town. They're only probably the best team in the American League.
What can go wrong?
What can go wrong? That's it for us. We'll be back with Blair and Barker tomorrow from 2 to 4 Eastern. Thank you for listening to Blue Jays Baseball, brought to you by the local family-owned Crown Rust Control Centers in Guelph and Elmira. Crown is proud to be Canadian-owned and operated since 1986. So protect your vehicle from rust today at your local Crown Rust Control Center or visit crown.com. Crown, Canada's #1 rust protection.
Major League Play-by-Play is now on SiriusXM Radio and online with the SiriusXM app.
Why do I love calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game?
Calling this game.
Why do I love calling this game? It's because I get a chance to bring some joy into people's lives.
Anything can happen on a baseball field.
We've got a new game! It's perfectly unscripted theater.
Everybody on their feet! Because you never know what you're going to see on a given day.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. just walked it off.
There's just something about baseball on the radio.
Something about the way wood hits leather. A swing and a drive to deep left center.
The way leather hits dirt.
And he made the play. Oh, my.
The way a deep fly ball sounds like it's about to change history.
High fly ball to center field. It's hit pretty well toward the wall. Until the cleats hit the grass, hit the crushed brick, and then nothing but sky and a silent crowd.
That ball's high.
Until leather hits leather and 40,000 fans lose their collective minds.
In a perfect symphony of chaos.
He jumped up on top of the wall, balanced himself, and caught it.
The way nothing triumphs a perfectly honest call.
I don't believe what I just saw.
And the way the right voice can make a moment live forever.
Touch 'em all, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Outsiders may think this is just two teams.
A ball, a bat, and a microphone. But no.
For over 100 years, this has been the soundtrack of the American pastime.
That's it! It's a World Series win for LA!
The soundtrack of summer. This is Major League Baseball on the radio.
Right now on SiriusXM.
All rise!
Coming in 5.
Get ready to play. 4.
Get up! Get up!
3.
Can you believe it?
Put your seatbelt on.
Wow. Talk about the game and all the stories
On
MLB Network Radio, SiriusXM Channel 89, and online with the SiriusXM app.
Baltimore Orioles face the Minnesota Twins. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Twins on Internet 857. 12:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago White Sox. Reds on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 847. White Sox on Internet 846. 3:07 p.m., Toronto Blue Jays face the Tampa Bay Rays. Jays on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 868. Rays on Internet 866. 8:05 p.m., Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros. Rangers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 867, Astros on Internet 851, Spanish Speed on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers host the A's, with the Dodgers on Sirius 138, XM 180, and Internet 854, A's on Internet 841, Spanish Speed on Sirius 139, XM 181, and Internet 870.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC.
Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's Sirius XM FC on Channel 157.
Have the Miami Marlins found their next star in Kyle Stowers? Well, Clayton McCullough, the Marlins manager, was on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 to talk about how Stowers is someone you can count on.
Top-rate teammate. I think he cares about others, and I think he just does things for the right reasons. We were, talking the other day, and it's just how this game has a way of, rewarding people who just go about and do things the right way. And Dave Roberts used to always say that. And I think that's Kyle, that he shows up. I think he took a lot of lessons from last year, and his previous, stints in the big leagues with just kind of honestly where he was and what it was going to take for him to be able to, survive here. And so between him and our hitting coaches, and again, they worked on, trying to address some of the top of the zone velocity, and he just embraced it and went to work. And he just keeps his head down. He's someone you can count on. He's dependable. So, I'd say trustworthy, hardworking, blue collar, and those are things that kind of sum up Kyle Stowers for me. And just he's diligent.
That was Clayton McCullough on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio on Channel 89 discussing how Kyle Stowers could be the next star for the Miami Marlins. If you want more interviews or news from around Major League Baseball, make sure to check out MLB Network Radio on Channel 89.
Follow every second of the action on NHL Network Radio. From behind the bench to every play on the ice. If it's hockey, it's on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 12:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Washington Nationals. Braves on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 842. Nationals on Internet 869. 12:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles face the Minnesota Twins. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Twins on Internet 857. 12:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago White Sox. Reds on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 847. White Sox on Internet 846. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays face the Tampa Bay Rays. Jays on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 868. Rays on Internet 866. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros. Rangers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 867. Astros on Internet 851. Spanish feed on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers host the A's, with the Dodgers on Sirius 138, XM 180, and Internet 854. A's on Internet 841. Spanish feed on Sirius 139, XM 181, and Internet 870. For 24/7 coverage of Major League Baseball, from day one of the regular season to the final pitch of the World Series, keep it locked on Sirius XM MLB Network Radio, Channel 89. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 12:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Washington Nationals. Braves on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 842. Nationals on Internet 869. 12:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles face the Minnesota Twins. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Twins on Internet 857. 12:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago White Sox. Reds on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 847. White Sox on Internet 846. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays face the Tampa Bay Rays. Jays on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 868. Rays on Internet 866. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros. Rangers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 867. Astros on Internet 851. Spanish feed on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m., LA Dodgers host the A's, with the Dodgers on Sirius 138, XM 180, and Internet 854. A's on Internet 841. Spanish feed on Sirius 139, XM 181, and Internet 870. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM MLB schedule for Thursday, May the 15th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In Major League Baseball, 12:15 p.m., Atlanta Braves take on the Washington Nationals. Braves on Sirius 208, XM 175, and Internet 842. Nationals on Internet 869. 12:35 p.m., Baltimore Orioles face the Minnesota Twins. Orioles on Sirius 209, XM 176, and Internet 843. Twins on Internet 857. 12:40 p.m., Cincinnati Reds take on the Chicago White Sox. Reds on Sirius 210, XM 177, and Internet 847. White Sox on Internet 846. 3:07 p.m. Toronto Blue Jays face the Tampa Bay Rays. Jays on Sirius 211, XM 178, and Internet 868. Rays on Internet 866. 8:05 p.m. Texas Rangers take on the Houston Astros. Rangers on Sirius and XM channels 89, Internet 867. Astros on Internet 851. Spanish feed on Sirius 137, XM 179, and Internet 871. 10:10 p.m. LA Dodgers